Why, hello. Welcome to the Captain's Cast. On a Sunday, the old Sunday time slot, with me, your host, Captain Garrett of the Swords of Starships channel, just talking about all things genre fiction, science fiction, fantasy, historical, the things I enjoy, the things you enjoy, my dear sailors and star nuts. Hi, how are you? We got, just doing a little bit of a relax and chill kind of stream. Where is my chat, Mr. Producer? Let's grab that. I am still on a high for Project Hail Mary. I need to see it at least 2 more times, and I've only seen it once, which is far too few. Far too few. I just haven't had the time, but I'm thinking probably this week. I need to do back-to-back. I need to see Mario Galaxy. I still haven't seen Mario Galaxy. I did just power watch all of Fallout Season 2. And I have to tell you, I have complex thoughts. There is so much stuff going on. There's just so much of it right now. There is The Boys. There is the Daredevil show. What else is going on? And like most of it, I'm just not even watching. I'm not watching Daredevil. I don't even care. I do not care. That first Daredevil Born Again season was awful. I hated it. It's just watered down. Oh, Maul. That's the one. That's the one that's going on. Maul Shadowlord, the new Star Wars animated show from Dave Filoni. What did I say? That's what I thought I said. Dave Filoni. I don't know why I say it like that. We already have a generous donation from one of our great members of the crew, Wrangler, with a $4.20 super chat. Thank you, Wrangler. I do. Where's the camera? Where's that? Oh, there it is. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Applause, Mr. Producer. There's that. Yeah. There it is. This is an authentic Rush Limbaugh mug sent to me by his crew. It says, believe in American exceptionalism. R.I.P. L. Rushbo. America's anchorman. There was a time when I would not have said that. There was a time when I'd be like, nah, I'm not. If I bring up Rush Limbaugh, it's just gonna like cause people to prejudge me. And you know something? I just don't give a shit like anymore. What are you up to, chat? Where is it? Where's my... I have 3 screens and it's still not enough. I need 5. I need 5 screens, Mr. Producer. Okay, there we go. It's because I expanded the OBS window too large. It's too big. Crowbar the Skull is in the chat. Says, yay, a Sunday Captain Street. You know, something about Sunday just feels right. Doesn't it, Crowbar? We have just kind of a miscellaneous stream. We're going to talk about all the current stuff. My thoughts about everything circulating in the entertainment world as far as shows and movies right now. We're going to talk about it. Maybe reminisce a little. You know, the Artemis II mission coinciding with Project Hail Mary, there's just something magical about that. There is something so poetic, so kismet. It just feels right, doesn't it? It's, hope in humanity is back on the menu. I have, that reminds me, Jeremy, D-Day Cobra, the commander, if you will, he suggested a video. He did not play it on his live stream, but he suggested it. And it was about, now just before you get mad at me, Star Fury, or any of you Interstellar haters, the point is not Interstellar, but it was a analysis of Interstellar and how it relates to the idea of God and the universe. And it's fantastic. I think we might just react to it. We'll see how we feel. So Wrangler with a whole lot of Ola. Thank you, Wrangler. Appreciate that. Redoubt Productions. I think I saw you somewhere in there. Yeah, there he is. A Marlene Monday Eve stream is upon us. It's everybody's favorite K-pop demon hunter weeb. Redoubt Productions, keeping us motivated on Mondays. I appreciate that. In our Discord. Join the Discord. It's fun. You'll have a good time. Restream. Do I have to ban something on I think I probably do. It's from Twitch, right? I already got like a bot or something. We'll deal with it later, Mr. Producer. No. We're reading the chat right now. We'll just ignore the bot for now. What is it? Is that more of that anime porn? I feel like that I should. Is it too early in the stream to say that? That's what we were watching. Me and my buddy, when we were in high school, we were watching Neon Genesis Evangelion, one of the greats, really. And his dad, every time it didn't matter what anime we were watching. If we were watching any anime, if he walked through the room and saw us watching it, his immediate question was always, "Is that more of that anime porn?" And we're like, "No, this is Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's not anime, you know. It better not be anime, you know what?" Those were the days. The asshole is back in the house, says Starfleet. Ahoy, Starfleet. Welcome aboard. Fu Man Blue, Master at Arms aboard the ship. Welcome aboard, Fu Man Blue. Boys are back in town. You're damn right. You are damn Skippy. Crowbar the Skull. Starfury says, why the hell did you watch the shit out of that show Fallout? Okay, I have an explanation. Now, easy now. Just before you get the torches and pitchforks, I will explain momentarily. There is something cosmic about it, isn't it, Wrangler? Artemis II and Project Hail Mary, which is just, the more I think about it and the more I listen to the internet try and convince me that Project Hail Mary is overrated. It's all right. It's not that great. I mean, yeah, it was fine. People are just they're overpraising it because we have so many crappy movies. The more I hear this, the more convinced I am that 9.5 out of 10 is too low a score for that movie. The film is one of my favorite all-time films already. It's in the Captain Garrett Criterion Collection. That is the list of essential films of cultural significance, which you are highly recommended to see. It's a film about faith in the future, in humanity. It reminds me of, seriously, I walked out of theater. My first reaction was, that was like the 5 best Star Trek episodes in a single film. It was like watching my 5 favorite Star Trek episodes. That was what Hail Mary was like to me. And maybe for some people, that's not enough. Maybe some people are like, well, I don't want to watch 5 Star Trek episodes that were cool. I want to watch a better movie. Well, fine. You go find that better movie. I don't know what it is, but you go find it. I'm happy with Hail Mary. I think it was why I used to love Star Trek, that movie, because you know something? There's a lot of darkness in the movie. He faces true isolation. That would be Ryland Grace, Ryan Gosling's character, Dr. Ryland Grace. He faces true isolation, the death of humanity, a mission he is ill-equipped for, totally alone, no idea what to do, true darkness. True darkness. He faces death at every turn. And why is it that after all of that, I walk out of that movie believing again, not again, because I believe in these things anyway, but my baseline belief just ticks up a little bit in friendship, in the worth and sacredness of humanity, in the hope, not the guarantee, but the hope of a better future. I'm telling you, that's a special film right there. You just don't get those every day. Rush is right, Wrangler says. I agree. The what? Starfire? The quiff is in full force this what? Oh, you mean quaff? Oh, the quaff? Is it the volume is good? That would be the hair volume. Did I get there? Starfury saying, I just saw a video from Disparu, hail Disparu, a fellow denizen of the Isles, you might say, Starfury. about the jobless crisis in Hollywood and the continual self-inflicted disasters they cause. There is actually a video on that in the stack of stuff, and we'll probably check that out. It's pretty fun. Redoubt Productions says, I hope you know I only keep the Marlene Monday ball going for the sake of the meme and for building channel lore at this point. They don't need to know how the sausage is made. They don't need to know that. All they need to know is that Marlene Angel is a great character. Let me tell you something about Marlene Angel. That would be the character from Blue Gender. The greatest anime of all time, by the way. I'm going to tell you something. If the right director-producer got their hands on the rights to Blue Gender and made it a live-action, like HBO-level series, but not like a crappy one like we get now, but like a 2000s era one, it is the best. It would be so much better than even a good adaptation of The Last of Us. It would be so much better than that. It is far better than even The Last of Us first game in terms of like the brilliance of this post-apocalyptic tale. It's amazing. It's amazing. And Marlene Angel, just between you and me, Marlene Angel is a stone cold B.I.H. on wheels, okay, for like the first 10 episodes. And then she meets the right guy, and he fixes her. And she becomes a great character. Maybe it's a bit of a male wish fulfillment fantasy. I hadn't considered that before. There's something somewhat Freudian about that. Now, Michael Archangel is in the chat and says he also loved base building in Fallout 4, says Michael Archangel. I do. Oh my God, I do. In fact, I enjoy base building in Fallout 76, which I just built this elaborate cabin in Fallout 76 with a red rocket station. It's got all my like workstations in it. I have like a water purifier. It's on the riverbank. It's fantastic. It's right next to Morgantown. Come by and see me. Be careful. I do have turrets. They are armed and very effective. The reason, I'll tell you something. I actually hated base building. Well, I take it back. My initial reaction is, I ain't doing that shit. That was my initial reaction. I totally ignored the base building at first. Then I got pulled into the Minutemen quest, and I started to warm up to it as a way of like, look, I'm a sucker for the hero story. I always play as the hero story. It's my favorite. I played as a Paragon Shepherd long before I played as a Renegade Shepherd. That was an experiment I sort of wound up falling in love with, but normally I'm not the Renegade guy. I'm not the nihilist or the Raider. So the Minutemen quest was perfect for me. I loved being the general, and that kind of wheedled me into the base building. But what made me love base building in Fallout 4, it was survival mode. Survival mode. Let me tell you something. Survival mode in Fallout 4 is murderous. It is brutal. You can't survive hardly anything for your first 10 levels of progress. You are wet tissue paper. A bloat fly will take your ass out. I literally am terrified. I see 3 bloat flies. I'm like, oh shit, Jesus, get in the armor, get dog. Help me! Help me, dog! Oh my God! And the dog's getting killed. The dog can't even take it. And then I'll never forget the first time I'm doing survival mode. Right? I'm like thirsty. I was almost dead from like thirst, and then it was like I had no food and I was starving to death. And then I managed to just barely claw and scrape my way through this initial mission, and I sort of survived it. And you can only save by sleeping in a bed, by the way. Don't forget that. You can go through 2 hours of gameplay, and if you haven't slept, you get killed, which is very easy in survival mode. You just lost 2 hours. You don't even know how angry that'll make you until it's happened to you 4 times in a row. 4 times in a row. Holy shit. And then, to make all of that worse, I'm in the middle of a dungeon crawl, and it says your illness is worsening. And it turned out I had contracted an infection, and it literally starts draining your health bar from an infection until you get antibiotics, which is like basically a super rare item. And I'm like, what the? So I realized I could not freaking survive literally in this world unless I had a base of operations to get back to. So every time I found a new base, my first priority was build water, make a bed so I can save, get some settlers in there to start farming food for me, get a chem station so I can make antibiotics so I don't die. And then it was like a switch flipped, because now all of a sudden it's actually kind of fun, because I don't care about building some elaborate like Mall of America to show off on Twitch or something. I'm not trying to make some stupid TikTok video about, oh, look at this. I made a Nuka-Cola factory in Fallout with sticks. It's like, who cares? I don't care about that. I want water. I want a bed. I want food. And I want an antibiotic manufacturing station. And I just build the most efficient, fast. I was throwing those settlements up in like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I'm like, I got all 5 things I need. I'm ready to survive. And what happened was I wound up actually developing almost every single base. And I was like, this is great. This is a lot of fun. And so now I'm into it. I really did come to enjoy it. Survival mode made it necessary. Redoubt saying Evangelion is such a fascinating beast, as I myself am a fan of its concept, and in isolation want to like the cast of characters, but there's 15 million different continuities in the franchise, and every one of them range from curious to infuriating. Yeah, the Evangelion I'm not super wild about. It's kind of a mess. It's typical anime of its era. Fu Man Blue, she's a man, baby. Redoubt Production. Now, Marlene is a tough-ass B.I. who doesn't realize that deep down she's actually pretty soft, and she's longing to be, she just needs to be loved. And Yuji melts her heart. So you just watch it, Fu Man. If you could just survive the first few episodes, you might just change your mind. Marlene would kill poor Rocky on sight if they crossed in the cosmos. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the point of the Rocky character that's so great. You know, I think the deep-seated lesson about Grace and Rocky's friendship is that they really met under the ideal circumstance, which is that they both were totally alone and were in over their heads, and they were very far from their home worlds. There was not a soul within light years of them. And so to each other, they were each kind of a life preserver to cling on to. And that made it possible for them to put aside any and all suspicions. I mean, not all. I mean, obviously they had initial fears of each other, but they were able to work through those quickly because they had an objective, but also they needed each other. And it was that mutual need that allowed sort of a cross-species friendship to form really beautifully. And it begs the question, like, if Grace had been there with, 10 astronauts and had nothing to worry about, what would his reaction to meeting Rocky have been? Would they have formed that friendship, or would they have been lost to suspicion and doubt and things like that? And so I think that's a huge part of the story. And you're right, Marlene would have shot the poor Rock. Star Fury says, Giant Mecha Show is Full Metal Panic, and season 2 is comedy par excellence. Star Fury hates renegade options in games. You are just full of surprises, Star Fury. Just full of surprises. Michael Archangel draws with crayons. Did I read that correctly, Michael Archangel? You draw with crayons, you say? Star Fury says, remember to like and subscribe, people. Thank you, dear Star Fury. Like and subscribe. And Fu Man Blue plugging the Captain's Starfaring action-adventure novels coming soon. Galaxy-born. After a blood-soaked year of killing slaver cartels, all Captain Sadler and his Starship crew want is a little rest at home. Instead, a warlord of the Rokoi race launches a surprise attack with a big enough army to slaughter every man, woman, and child on the planet. Make sure to put in your email address and subscribe, because there will be updates coming soon. That's the cover right there. Let me get the whole thing in the frame. And I'm gonna be releasing it sort of manga style, so it's gonna be sort of in volumes, sort of the way mangas are. So the story is very much meant to be ongoing and, kind of have continuous releases throughout the year. So each volume should be a pretty quick read, I would say. Like, they should read quickly. But don't worry. There's no filler. You're going to get your money's worth. I promise you that. Okay. And back to the show. Let's check in with the stack of stuff, because we got stuff to get into. I was talking about... Oh, yes. I forgot. I was going to answer Star Fury's question about why would I watch Fallout Season 2? Like, what the hell? Because I'm doing content on it, so I'm going to be working on some content for it. And my thought is I want to do how I would rewrite the Fallout show. So I had to watch the whole thing. Oh, man, the second season is kind of a mixed bag. Let's see. Dismiss Google. All right. It's not as bad as something like Starfleet Academy or The Acolyte, or Ironheart, or just some of that other just absolute trash that they're coming out with all the time. But it fails in so many critical areas. The plot is mostly pretty bad, but I will say that there seemed to be moments in season 2 that were, if I didn't know any better, I would say they were trying to correct some of the kind of ghastly lore decisions they made, because they essentially implied that the New California Republic is completely dead in season 1, but in season 2, the NCR kind of comes back into the story in a big way. So that's like one example. But then they also implied in the first season that Vault-Tec and all of the major companies of the pre-war world deliberately launched nuclear war so that they could experiment with the vaults, so they could make money by burning down the whole planet. But then Mr. House in season 2, in backstory, explains that no, those aren't the people that did it, and those idiots will never do it. That's just hot air. It's actually a worse enemy that does it. And so Mr. House is basically... The show basically implies that the Enclave is who launched the war, which I have to admit, that's a much, much better lore decision than, capitalism must so bad that companies literally want to start nuclear war to make money. Lucy is not quite as insanely stupid in this season as she was in the first season. The first couple episodes are bad. They do Caesar's Legion dirty. Caesar's Legion is treated terribly. They pretty much do the Brotherhood dirty as usual. What I will say is that there's a handful of things that are done really well in the Fallout show. Like the set design is incredible. They do choose likable actors, and some of their elements of the story are really good. I really enjoy Lucy's father, McLean. He's a mustache twirling sort of patriarchy villain, but he does have moments in the show where he's persuasive and sympathetic, and I like that a lot. So it's like it's half of the show has so much potential. If they just hadn't treated it as something as such an obvious parody, the show had real potential. The problem with the Fallout video game universe and the show especially, is that the people behind it hate capitalism. Like, they don't dislike it. They don't have critiques of it. They're not suspicious of it. They hate its guts. They hate it. And that's the problem with the show, because they can't resist the urge to make literally the Fallout universe, especially the show writers, to some extent the video game creatives as well, Bethesda, but the show writers specifically cannot help themselves. Every opportunity they have to make everything a parody about how insane and stupid capitalism is they just can't resist it. And so they turn the show into a comedy when it actually could be a meaningful critique of capitalism that would be sort of enjoyable to watch, but they just can't help themselves. It's as if to say capitalism is so ridiculous on its face, how could you not laugh at it? But the problem with that is it's so one note, and it undermines what could be a lot really excellent drama. And the video games have remarkably serious drama. You know, these are the stories of real lives, and to the extent there's a parody element, it's that the zealotry of the pre-war government of America and the enclave and the kind of excesses of corporate America leading up to the Great War, all of that was somewhat ridiculous. But the people who lived in those times and the people who now live with the consequences of those times are real people facing real horrors and trying to survive and make something of it. I'll give you a perfect example. I just saw this short on YouTube. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find this real quick, because it was really good. And it really put into perspective just how not seriously the show takes things. No, I need my watch history. That's what I need. There it is. I got it. It's right there. Okay, cool. Copy link. Excellent. We'll put it over here in the Mozilla. All right, I got to share screen here, share audio. So I'm gonna try this because I did not know about this. This is Fallout 4. Okay, there's a hidden quest in Fallout 4, because if you follow the normal main storyline, you go to Diamond City, you meet Detective Nick Valentine, and he helps you find your family. But you can also go a different way. So here we go.
Fallout 4 has a secret quest that almost all of you have missed. Instead of going to Sanctuary or Diamond City, right after beginning the game, head over to the Memory Den in Good Neighbor. This opens a completely new way to start the main story. You can convince Irma to let you use a memory lounger to help you find your son. This lets you relive that cryopod memory, but now you get to hear your character's own thoughts about what happened, and even some of the guilt they're carrying.
How could you be a part of this?
This is the one. Here.
It should have been me.
Initialized.
Why didn't they take me? Oh my god. Nora! I can't watch this again.
Try to calm down. Your blood pressure is spiking. I'll have you out.
And when you return to the Memory Den later on in the story, Dr. Amari will even remember you.
Wait. I remember you. The memory inducement. Vault 111, right?
Now, my point in bringing this up is look at how seriously the idea is taken of this guy who wakes up from cryostasis and watches his wife murdered and his son abducted, and how horrified and traumatized he is, and how and it's presented as this is real. This isn't some stupid parody about how zany and wacky the wasteland is. It's like, no, this is about a man who's lost everything, and this is what's animating his quest to survive. And I just weep for the missed opportunity of the show taking things that seriously. And there are moments where it gets close to that, and then it just reverts back to, oh look, heads are exploding And oh no, look how funny it is that these wasteland idiots don't care if she lives or dies. And it's like, oh geez. You know, a lot of the people in the wasteland, when you encounter them, a lot of them are farmers, family people just trying to make a living. A lot of them are pretty sensible. They may have like some backwards ideas about things because of how they've lived, but the show kind of treats every wastelander as basically an ignorant idiot, a yokel who just doesn't give a shit, who could care less if anyone lives or dies but themselves. And they are never portrayed as having like depth. They're basically, it's a little bit, it's more like a Clockwork Orange. They're all just sharing their madness together. And I find that very disappointing. I think it's the language of people who, they really don't get this universe. They just love that it's an opportunity to, you know, bring that axe they have to grind about America and jingoism and, you know, capitalism. And I knew this is what the show would be. I couldn't have predicted exactly the quality level. I would say it's sitting about a 5 out of 10 for season 2 for me. It's kind of like dead even. First 2 episodes are really bad, but the last couple episodes have some good stuff in them. And I'm just so disappointed because I really love this universe and I wish it had been more. So I watched it as research, Star Fury, in order to critique it. And I was expecting to be much more down on it. But I'm finding that it's not, at least season 1 was worse. Season 1 was definitely worse. This is the trap, though, with a show like Strange New Worlds. This is why Kurtzman Trek kind of does this. It used to do this every once in a while. It would seem like they were trying to make it a little better, as if they were responding to fan critique. So I'm not falling for that, but we'll keep an eye on it, you know. Okay, moving on. That was part of my stack of stuff anyway, so let's check in with the Project Hail Mary box office, because this will make Star Fury happy. This article here. Grab that article, Mr. Producer. We're going to make our sweet prince across the pond very happy. This from Koimoy. Project Hail Mary North America box office surpasses Christopher Nolan's Interstellar's $215 million plus lifetime run. That would be that. Let me zoom in on that. Project Hail Mary's weekend actuals came in higher than previously reported, with a strong hold in North America. The film crossed a major milestone. It has surpassed the domestic haul of one of Christopher Nolan's most, I would argue, the most celebrated sci-fi movie, Interstellar. With that, the Ryan Gosling star has achieved an elite status among sci-fi adventure movies. With a worldwide box office of more than $400 million. It still has the upcoming weeks to maintain its momentum. So we're thinking it's got to hit. I'm kind of surprised. It's a $200 million budget for this film. So it's doing really well, but it's still got to hit something like $500 million to turn a profit. So I hope it gets there. I really do. But it's doing well. And it's already surpassed the total North American haul of Interstellar. And that's not all. Where this is like the box office mojo numbers. And it just goes to show, you make a good movie, people will come see it. Come on now. I got to get this old jalopy loading. Yeah, so where are we sitting? We're sitting at There it is. Oh yeah, no, it's gone up since last time I checked. 510 million worldwide on a $200 million budget. So yeah, I think it's crushing it. It's still got weeks left in theaters. People are going back for repeat viewings, and the conversation on this movie is it is a word of mouth juggernaut. And it's a film about hope. It's a film that doesn't paint the future as all sunshine and roses. Things aren't easy. Ryland Grace, the main character, is notable in that he's not, I wouldn't call him a coward, but he is a character that was too afraid to volunteer for the mission and did almost everything he could to get out of it. And that's really notable because he's also the man that delivers victory in the end, suggesting that it's actually the imperfections in humanity that can lead to the great surprises, and that he's a flawed character. And it's really a story about rising above our limitations, and people have been needing that. Like, this is the purpose of art. It's, as John C. Reilly observed, it should be additive. This was a really interesting stat. Did you know in this film they did not even use any green screen? I saw this X post. This is another factor of why this film's doing so well. Best Movie Moments has it. Project Hail Mary contains not a single green screen shot in the entire movie. Director Christopher Miller says there is no green screen in the movie whatsoever. Not a single green or blue screen was used. The whole ship was built as a set from inside. Now that right there, that is fantastic. And Rocky, he was a real model that was done with a puppeteer, a professional puppeteer, animated all of his movements, all of his interactions with Grace. Those were all a real person giving him that life. And it shows because it is unfreaking believable. There's always a snooty critic somewhere who makes this case. They always say something along the lines of, this is what they said about Avatar when it first came out. And again, the purpose is not to bring up Avatar specifically. It's to illustrate that critics always have this kind of snooty opinion. And it goes something like this. Is it possible for audience members to relate to and care about a blue person or a non-human character? And they're asking this in the year 1999. When we've already had Star Wars films, we've had 40 years of Star Trek already at that point, and they're asking this question as if this was impossible somehow. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible in a movie for people to relate to non-human characters. I just don't know. I just don't. Will people care about blue people? Will they care about green people? Well, it turns out that they will weep and cheer and clap and come back for more for a living rock. A living rock. How is that possible? I even asked myself, how is that possible? It's possible. I think it's possible. This is a little bit out there, I will grant you. It is at least possible because they're out there. Not specifically exactly Rocky. I'm not saying that exactly, obviously. But the equivalent, the analog, is out there somewhere. There are beings out there. They're there. Something in our DNA knows this. I can't explain how we know. We just know. We just know. Don't we? It's as if the human soul, the human heart, is already wired for first contact with an alien species. We are already wired to relate. I mean, we do. We can love our dogs. We can love cats. We can absolutely love every Every creation in nature, every animal on this planet, there is someone out there that loves it dearly. Even spiders. I know, there's wackos out there that love spiders. Ew, but they're out there. It's already, which suggests to me that if that's already in us, isn't it possible it's already in them as well? You know, and I think that's the beautiful thing about Grace and Rocky, is that even though they're fictional characters, it's the feelings that they create in us that reveal this truth to us, that reveal what's possible about ourselves, about our future, about life in the universe. It sort of suggests that we are already wired for this to be real. And that just gives me a hell of a lot of hope. It really does. It makes me feel great. It makes me feel fantastic. Now, I am like obsessive this way. This is how I've looked at movies, TV shows, comedy, jokes. This is how I've looked at like any narrative structure since I was a kid. I always ask myself, why does it have this? Why is it like this? Why does it make me laugh? Why does it make me cry? Why does it make me feel this way? What made that sequence so damn awesome? And I suppose it's what naturally led me to become a storyteller, because I can't help but want to see that Swiss watch of perfection and every gear that's making it turn. So my observations about this, you know, I don't even think I've gotten to the bottom of it because I can't stop thinking about it. But I keep thinking about, why is this relationship between Grace and Rocky so powerful? Why is this friendship? It's not just that it's powerful. It's that it's real. It's that it's real. It's a rock. How is that possible? Seriously. How's that possible? I'm going to tell you something. When that little rock hand comes out the first time in the movie and it's all... I had this feeling of relief. I had this feeling of catharsis. I can't even describe it. Because up to this point, that everything was so forlorn. Everything was such doom. Humanity's dying. The other astronauts are dead. Grace doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's alone. He's got nobody. And it's a one-way trip. He doesn't even get to go home, even if he does succeed. And that's not even looking like it's going to happen. And so when he meets this creature, you're like, there's someone there. It's like just the knowledge that you don't even know if he's hostile or not yet. You don't even know what's going to happen next. You just know that just the fact that there's life there, that little fact unlocks enormous quantities of hope instantly. And then everything that unfolds from that point forward, just like a true master class in perfect pacing, just starts to layer ever so gently, ever so organically, ever so naturally. The forming first the meeting, the questions and the curiosity. Then the translation, the formation of a language, a way of communicating, then the understanding, then the knowledge, then the story, then the alliance, then the cohabitation, then the collaboration, then the friendship, then the ride or die friendship. Don't you dare tell me that this movie is overrated. I don't want to hear it. I got no time for that. Masterful. Masterclass this movie is. Masterclass. I mean, it's okay. It's a sci-fi movie. I mean, whatever. What else am I going to do with 2 hours? Shut the fuck up. I'm just getting a little excited. Any opinion is valid. Don't misunderstand. I'm not calling anyone out for having an opinion. I'm just saying how I feel about it. And how I feel about it is, That's one hell of a masterclass. Because, I'll tell you, it would have been so easy to rush it. It would have been so easy to rush this, and it would have screwed it up. If the movie had lost its center for even a minute, I think it would have derailed the real genius of the Rocky Grace friendship. I think that it built so naturally. It hit every note it had to hit before the next note could play. You know what I'm saying? And if they had skipped any of those beats to where it was like, oh, cool, a living rock, like, you know what it would be like? It would be like if a stupid writer's room full of dumb millennials who normally write Marvel movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, or Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, or The Acolyte. That's even too far. But my point is, if it had been just a bunch of dumb millennials like that who decided to write a bunch of stupid MCU jokes and just fast track it to, oh, are we friends? We're doing this? Oh, we're buddies now? Oh, cool. Yeah, guys, I have a pet rock, and just stupid shit like that. It would have just ruined it. It would have strangled the life out of it. And the amazing thing is, I'm not even telling you that the movie that the movie doesn't have comedy in it. It does. There's a lot of great jokes in the movie. There's a lot of great levity and fun, but it's layered so naturally. It's not. That's the problem. The problem with MCU humor these days is not that it's comedy. The problem is it used to feel natural and layered, like in the first Avengers film. For example, Steve Rogers is in the he's in the helicarrier, and they're kind of talking, and he's been like super in over his head and lost because he's a man at a time. And then Nick Fury has that great line where he's like, I need to know how Loki managed to turn my best men into his own personal flying monkeys. And then Captain America goes, I got that. And everyone looks at him like, what? And he's like, I got that reference. Because the Wizard of Oz is old enough for him to have seen it. That's funny. That's really funny. And it flows naturally from the fact that he's a man at a time. He's trying to fit in. And that's the first time he's ever got a reference that someone made. And he's excited about it. That's funny. And natural. It fits with the scene. That's good writing. But this constant, winking at the camera kind of comedy that they do now, like in Thunderbolts, for example, it's obnoxious. It's obscene. I hate it. Thank God Project Hail Mary was written by mature adults. That's all I'm saying. Redoubt Production says, I enjoyed the movie, but a friend of mine did not. You can admit it's you, Redoubt. Don't worry. You don't have to use the my friend said defense. A friend of mine did not enjoy it, and it was because they could not feel comfortable with the concept of communicating with a rock. Their words, not mine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I really am. I am 100% okay with that. Because the fact of the matter is, someday when we meet an alien species that's silicon-based and looks like a rock, a certain percentage of human beings are not going to be able to handle it. Understand that. My purpose is not to suggest that we humans are all wired to make friends with the aliens. I'm saying a significant percentage of us will probably say it has scales, kill it. That's probably a significant and vice versa, by the way. Vice versa. But that's okay. Humanity's not perfect. We're not all going to have the same reaction to that. And if you ask me, I think that this is going to sound a little bit snooty. Okay? It's going to sound a little bit pedantic. Mr. Producer, dare I? What do you mean? I've already made up my... How do you know that? You're right. I have made up my mind. Okay. As snooty as it sounds, some people don't look up at the stars and see anything wonderful. Some people look up at the stars and all they want to do is look at the next TikTok video. Or if you want to go back 30 years, they want to, check their email on their BlackBerry. Or if you want to go back 30 years before that, they're going to be like, what were the kids doing back then? Something else. Anyway, my point is, some people just aren't that imaginative and they don't really know a lot about I think most people have no clue how big the universe is. Like none. Every time, I'd say like most people that I get into a conversation with about the distances in space and I kind of like explain it, very few people, we sci-fi nerds know this, trust me. We are the initiated here. But I would say most people have no clue of these distances, of the vastness of, you explain to people that there's 200 billion stars. No, sorry, 400. What am I saying? 400 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy, give or take a few tens of billions. And they can't believe it. And then I say, well, our neighboring galaxy, the Andromeda galaxy, has a trillion stars. And so far as we can see, there are hundreds of billions of galaxies. And the only reason we can't count higher is because that's as far as light will reach us from where we're sitting. And you explain these things and they're like, really? And it's not that that's a bad thing. It's that I just don't think some people are wired for being able to relate to a higher concept like that. It's like that requires them to stop thinking about themselves for a few minutes, stop thinking about their earthly concerns, and think about something greater and larger. And I don't begrudge anyone saying, well, screw you, I don't want to. Fair enough. Who am I? But it's not going to ruin my good time. Who is Grace talking to? Question. The funny thing about that is it's so endearing and cute that Rocky has this weird way of speaking, but it's actually not Rocky's weird way of speaking. It's that Grace built a kind of bootstrap communicator that's a translation matrix that's actually pretty shoddy. It's not perfect. And so really, it's actually Grace's translation matrix that makes him sound kind of funny because some of the phrases don't exactly translate or they translate words in the wrong order. Hence the hilarious fist my bump line. It's like, it's really funny. Ken here. Who are you talking to? I'm going to tell you right now, the scene, it's a bit spoiler alert, but the scene where Rocky has to exit his space suit, for lack of a better term, I almost couldn't take it. It was absolutely crushing me emotionally to watch that part. And it was hard to watch. It was like very hard to watch because I was pretty convinced like this is the character dying. And I was having a hard time with it. I'm going to be honest with you. I was having a real hard time with it. It was because it was just the level of pathos and emotion was so at a fever pitch at that point in the film. So yeah, no green screen used. Pure. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Hang on. Back to me, Mr. Producer. And it's just handcrafted movie making. And then you have Artemis II, right? At the same time this is going on. For the first time in years, we've got Artemis II, an actual mission to the moon. Astronauts to the moon. And it occurred to me also today, I was thinking about this. I was like, I don't think people appreciate that if it were not for Elon Musk, absolutely nobody on this planet in any government or private organization, including NASA, would have even considered it possible to build a rocket that can land. I don't think we appreciate what a real life Tony Stark Elon Musk is. it's a wonder he doesn't just go ahead and build the Iron Man suit. He might as well make it official at this point. But in any case, this is actual footage, not AI. This is real footage the Artemis took of our planet. This is probably not Earth because it doesn't look very flat from this angle, but it's a planet near the moon. I mean, think about that. This is an actual video looking at us. Wow. It's just... wow. How can you not be amazed by that? How can you say, I don't really care about space. I just care about what's going on down here. It's like, you're passing up the greatest show in human history. How could you say that? I don't understand it. I'll never understand people that can't marvel at that, which is why it's probably a good time to check in with someone who is of exactly that persuasion, because it is true. Some people can't handle it. Some people don't care. So hat tip, the angriest man on the internet, Ryan Cannell, from Geeks and Gamers. Let's see how Ryan feels. I'm sure he agrees with me.
Man, did you see the rocket launch? I ain't seen nothing, dude. I had it on the TV, and it was like, all right, 10 seconds. I ran outside with my phone. It was kind of cloudy where I was at, but maybe I was looking in the wrong direction. I just like...
Yeah, you're looking to the west or something.
I was just waiting. Well, there was a bunch. All my neighbors were outside. With all the kids, everywhere. We were all just standing there, and no one. You would think one person would be like, "There it is." And everybody would turn. We couldn't find it. I can't believe I couldn't see it. Other people saw it. I didn't see nothing. I saw nothing, man.
Maybe you were watching on a stream delay or something. It was already gone by the time
it already went through.
I'm gonna be really honest. I didn't look for it. I didn't particularly care. This whole Artemis, I know a lot of people are super invested and like, oh my gosh, like I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna be real. I don't give two fucks about sending a rocket past the moon. I don't give a fuck about us spending what is $100 billion or something on this Artemis project, $4 billion every time they fucking launch. I don't really care about us, like I don't care. Wow, I can't believe a woman and a black dude are going to go by the moon and not even fucking land on it and just turn around and come home. I give no shits. Especially on the same week where I'm frantically trying to fucking do my taxes and figure out how much I have to pay.
He's like literally. It's like I just talked about the beauty of humanity and how inspiring Project Hail Mary is and Artemis II and how great it is, as if to be the exact reply I needed to all of that hopium.
Pay the fucking government for more fucking pointless missiles in the Middle East and fucking rocket ships that are just doing a little fucking stroll past the moon. I don't give two fucks, especially as I'm doing my tax and realize, oh fuck, I spent more money on this year. I spent more money on this year because cost of living's fucking skyrocketing. So miss me with the, oh my God, we haven't done this in 50 years. Yeah, because there's no fucking point. Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck about sending the first black person past the moon, the first woman past the moon? We're not even landing on it. I give no fucks about the Artemis mission. Wake me when we go to Mars. Then I might be fucking interested. But even then, maybe not.
All right, well, since you weren't interested, there was a little Billy out there that was very interested. And if you didn't get a chance to see this, this is what he had to say.
Why do you want to be here? Why do you love space? Why do you love being a part of history?
We're going back to the freaking moon, that's why.
He didn't say the F word, he said frickin'.
We aren't. We're just going to wave.
That was a great clip.
I'm glad that kid's excited. You know why? That kid's fucking taxes aren't paying for this stupid bullshit. What are we getting out of? Like, tell me. What are we getting out of this?
Hope, Ryan.
Clips like that.
Optimism.
That's about it.
The future of humanity.
Cool.
I got an extension on my taxes, so I'm not going to be freaked out till October.
I am. Bro, yeah, I give zero shits. I care about filling up my fucking gas tank. I care about buying fucking groceries, and all that shit is wild and out of control. And
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. Well,
so the Artemis mission, cool, saw a rocket. I'm sad that I had to fucking pay for it and get nothing out of it. Congratulations, blacks and women. We're spending $4 billion so you can be a first of something. Not really.
Okay.
The first of your kind, but not the first.
all that money that they spent, look what we got, bro.
first
We
of
got
your
a 4K picture of the Earth from the Artemis II. They just released it. Look at that thing.
Yeah, we've got an
Shit
update.
sure looks flat.
Yeah, we got an update. We used to have the same one for like 50 years. Now we finally got a new one.
To me,
Oh,
thank God. You know, all that money, we got a nice wallpaper for your computer, for your desktop background.
they just released this photo.
I think that's worth
There
it.
is something
I think that's
so,
worth it.
like, astounding about
He's like, we spent $400 billion to get a fucking wallpaper of the Earth that AI could have generated, and it would have looked even more real. That's so funny.
the Earth. You know what I mean?
Today is Good Friday, so yeah, kind of makes me think,
It is.
I guess.
You know what's not good? The fact that we're just fucking walking around taking a pass of the moon. A waste. What a fucking waste. That's a really long and really expensive fucking Uber ride, I tell you what.
So do you think if they land next time, they'll land at like one of the old spots to like, so they could prove to all the conspiracy people that they did land on the moon before? Or are they just going to blame it on the Jews?
I don't know. I don't know what the plans are for when they actually land on the moon.
I don't either.
Who knows?
Hat tip Ryan Cannell, the angriest man on the internet. Now, there is one last note on this Artemis mission, and this cracked me up, okay? I saw this post on X. This is one of the... Robert Meyer Burnett quote tweeted this. There's this guy who posted on his account this conversation he saw online, okay? And this idiot, this nitwit, this is exactly what, back to your point for a second here at Redoubt Productions. You say you have a friend who says he just couldn't relate to a rock. I can't relate to a rock, What can I say? It's a fucking rock. I don't know. I mean, what is in the mind, or perhaps more accurately, what's missing from the mind that thinks of things that way? Look at this. The temperature was too high on the thermostat, and now I have a glisten. I have a glisten, Mr. Producer. It's really bad. I need a distraction, Mr. Producer. I need you to run this clip for me, okay?
Does this mean we're not friends anymore? If I thought you weren't my friend, I just don't think I could bear it.
Exactly. Now, I've worked up a glisten. So what's in the mind of someone like this? Well, I'll tell you, there are some minds that just are not made for space. They're not made for science fiction. They're not made for meeting alien civilizations. There are people, when the human species populates hundreds of worlds with, dozens of species in a grand, wonderful utopian federation, there will be people that think that life is boring. Boring. Okay, and this is the type of mind exactly that produces that reaction. Okay, here is the post. Okay, the post, this person says, whoever thinks NASA is really flying around the moon, I have a few questions. So, rockets use gas and fire, right? Or is it rocket fuel? Whatever the hell they use, and fire. But doesn't fire need oxygen? And isn't there no oxygen in outer space? So how would they use a rocket to fly to the moon, or even in 1972 when they supposedly landed on the moon? Yeah, big whoop. How did they leave the moon if there's no oxygen on the moon for the flame to work? Can someone help me make sense of this? And the reply to this is simply one of the most excellent replies I've ever heard, because it fits so many things plaguing our modern society. And it's really, it's honestly the answer I wish I had when someone was kind of asking me, are there any conspiracy theories you do believe in? And there are a couple, but they're very few. And I wish I had thought of this answer, but this is the answer he replies to this guy. He says, everything is a conspiracy theory if you're too stupid to know how anything works. And I have to tell you, that is a genius answer.
Oh, you think it's slop. That's fine. But we live in a world full of hogs.
If you are too stupid to understand how things work, then yes, everything is a conspiracy theory. Nothing makes any sense. You know, it's like and this is exactly my problem with modern internet culture. And it hit me the other day. You know, I used to wring my hands about this. I'd be like, how do we get through to these kids? How do we get through to the other side of the aisle? Or how do we get through to people this or that fact or this or that, element of human knowledge? How do we explain it? And this is why, you tell me now about your friend saying, I can't relate to a rock. And my answer is, well, I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. I've made my peace with that. Because I used to wring my hands about it. Be like, how do I explain to this person how important it is that you relate to a rock that's alive? I don't care about that anymore. Of course I don't care about that anymore. Because now I just simply understand that there are a lot of people in the world that do not know a lot of things. But they live in a time where everyone gets to have a microphone and a camera. So anyway, back to my show with my microphone and camera. Crowbar the Skull says, it shows the U.S. is still powerful. We can still send people into the heavens. That's a great answer, Crowbar the Skull. Ryan has a valid point from the cynic's point of view. I don't agree with him, but still, I know. Look. There is such a thing as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is that if your basic needs are not met, the needs above that are they're concerns you just don't have time for. Like, let me find this. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Have you heard of this? I want the visual, Mr. Producer. That's what I need. Yes, I think I found it. Yeah, can I get that in full screen? Por favor. There we go. I got it. Okay, share screen, Mr. Producer. This is exactly the issue, right? This is the issue with people who can't relate to a rock, don't think the Artemis II mission is exciting, don't care about us going to the moon, don't even give a shit about space generally, or alien life specifically. This is part, perhaps, if I were to be charitable, I would say this is a fair reasoning for why. So, This is the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the base, the bedrock base layer is physiological needs: food, water, warmth, and rest. If you don't have those things, you don't care about anything else. There's nothing else you need to be worrying about. You need to be finding food, water, and shelter. That's it. You don't have time for anything above that layer. But if those needs are met, then you need to concern yourself with safety. If you have food, water, warmth, and rest, but you're not safe and the zombies could break in at any moment, well, you've got bigger fish to fry than the next layer, which is belongingness and love. By the way, this is actually emblematic of the exact reason that Rocky and Grace formed their friendship in the film. They are sort of at the bottom of the pyramid when they meet, and they kind of become the only lifeline each other has to meet these needs, almost in this exact order, quite frankly. You know what? I take it back. Not almost. This is the exact progression of their friendship, because when they meet, they're both at risk of running out of the resources they need to survive. They together work through that. Then they secure their safety in their ships. They then, both being alone and having watched their crews perish, now begin to find belongingness with each other. They form a friendship. Once that need is met, they're able to move up to the next one, which is esteem. This is Grace in the film working through his self-doubt and his sort of background understanding that his feeling he's a bit of a coward. He's not that remarkable of a guy. He's a failed researcher. He's a failed scientist. It's really just a cruel joke that he's even in a position to save the planet, right? And it's Rocky who starts to help him work through that. And then conversely, Grace helps Rocky work through his guilt about failing to save his own crew. And then at towards the end of the film, the final act of the film is self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. That's the final image of the film with Grace and Rocky. It's brilliant. I didn't even think about this. This needs to go in the video, Mr. Producer. This is good. But my point is, at a human level, if your concerns are down here at the bottom, you don't have time for things like space or Artemis missions or what have you. So from that perspective, I can understand, if not agree, with Ryan Cannell's rather acerbic reaction to the Artemis II mission. Redoubt Production says, when it comes down to things, however, space exploration by any country largely hinges on investing in military assets. It just looks really nice to the public to say it's for the sake of science. They did the same thing back in the day with oceanic exploration as a show of force and advanced tech of warships. Two things can be true at once. It can be that it benefits those aims, but it can also be that we genuinely want and yearn to advance as a multiplanetary and become a multiplanetary species. Crowbar the Skull says, do you think Ryan reached the belongingness and love level? I think you know the answer to that. He's nowhere even close. He's nowhere close to that. He's not at that level. That's his whole problem. And on your point, Crowbar, about how it shows that the U.S. is still powerful, the U.S., when we are shitting the bed, we're still the most powerful country on the planet. And that's not because I'm bragging. It's because it's just a fact. It's just a fact. And the thing that's remarkable about that is that we don't always look it. And that's because, unlike most civilizations that have had enormous power, we don't use it for expansionism and conquest. That's not to say we don't advance our interests and our sphere of influence in the world. Of course we do. But we don't use it in the way that Alexander the Great used his power, or the way that the British Empire once used its power. Like, we don't use it that way. We use it with great discipline and restraint. It's a strange paradox, because I think that it's also exactly why our enemies always underestimate us, because they mistake our restraint for weakness. They fail to recognize that it is they who have already shown, they've already thrown the best they got. Like Pearl Harbor is a great example. It was a masterful surprise attack planned carefully in painstaking complexity and secrecy, and it was devastating. It did all this damage, and it was like it was them throwing their back into it and giving it all they got. And all it did was piss us off. That's all it did. Because we had all this wealth. We didn't even have a military, really. Our military was really stripped down at the time of Pearl Harbor. FDR had built it up a little bit because of the Lend-Lease, under the guise of the Lend-Lease program to help out Britain. But really, there was no overt effort to rebuild the military. There was some, but not a lot. After Pearl Harbor, it was like we went from like a tiny military that was still in its early rebuilding to like we were spamming bombers, planes, ships, weapons, and we decided, since we couldn't decide which nuclear weapon was most likely to succeed, we just built both. We flooded the zone. Why? Because we tapped into our latent potential. And so every measure of power that the United States uses, when we use it in a very visible way, it's like a tenth. It's like a tenth of our power. And that's why, that's really one of the great reasons I love my country so much. Because that's what free and good people should do. They should use their power with restraint and for good reasons only. And of course, we don't always. That's fair to say. But when it is used, it should be used with absolute, unquestioning decisiveness, which is why I voted for the Orange Man. Hail the God Emperor of Man. Now, that's not relevant to this stream, of course. Speaking of hope in humanity, there is an antithesis. There is a opposite, you might say, to Hail Mary. And it is interesting. It was very much top of mind when I left Project Hail Mary. I was thinking about, by contrast, how miserable the Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar universe is by comparison. You know, I've already spoken at length ad nauseum about how Fire and Ash was kind of the last Avatar film that I think I'm going to be looking forward to. I don't think I'm going to be looking forward to these anymore. I left the theater thinking, okay, I guess I'll see you in another 2 years and we can just do all this all over again. You know what? I tell you what, don't call me, I'll call you. That was kind of my whole feeling as I was walking out of the theater. I'm like, I'm kind of tired of this. I've seen this movie 3 times. I've seen it 3 times, and it's getting less exciting every time. And I ask myself, I'm like, I don't get this. What the hell? What does James Cameron even want to say with these movies? Well, evidently nothing. But then I saw Project Hail Mary, and it's like it put it in even more stark relief. What's wrong? And it's that it's this common negative, nihilistic viewpoint of humanity. This view, it's the Fallout view of humanity, that we are sort of parasitic, that it's inevitable, that we will just use everything up, including each other. There's just no hope in anything. And Project Hail Mary is not saying that we're destined for greatness or that humanity's great and we're just sunshine and roses. It's saying, yeah, we know things are hard. Things could get worse. Things could get a lot worse. But that doesn't mean that there's a reason not to have. That doesn't mean we shouldn't have faith. And so I thought it would be appropriate for us to check out the pitch meeting for Avatar Fire and Ash by Ryan George. I'm a huge fan of these. I enjoy these greatly. Share audio, Mr. Producer, or I'll wind up having to wear the bib, and we don't want that. So, full screen. I haven't seen this yet.
So, you got a new Avatar.
I haven't seen this yet. I'm excited. As you know, in case you need a brief recap, I don't think anyone here does, but while I loved the first Avatar film, and while the second film I had problems with, but also was mostly, it was pretty good, but yeah, definitely could have been better. Avatar Fire and Ash, it's fire and ass. It sucked. It really sucked, and I was really disappointed. And the more I thought about it after watching it, the less I liked it. Unlike Project Hail Mary, where the more I think about it, the more I love it. So let's see the pitch meeting, shall we? Yeah, Crowbar. Disney might dump Avatar. Well, they should. They should. I mean, I don't know. How much did it even make? Did it even make a lot of money? I haven't even checked. Avatar Fire and Ash final box office. Let's see. It made... I don't know why they would dump it, because it made $1.46 billion. Jeez. It made $1.5 billion. In revenue, it needs to be said. It's not pure profit, obviously. 2025 released finished as a high-earning but lower-performing sequel, with around $404 million domestic, $1 billion international. It seems to be more of a hit internationally, which is kind of an interesting thing. While it is still a major success, it is considered a disappointment compared to Avatar 2, first Avatar, that is, with $2.9 billion, almost $3 billion for that first movie. The Way of Water at $2.3 billion. Now I'm starting to see. Okay. Oh, wow. So that's about $1 billion drop-off from movie to movie. So that is what we call a downward trajectory. It's falling like a rock. The jig is up with this. Audiences are smarter than people give them credit for. They really are. They really are. My previous pedantic argument about uneducated people notwithstanding, they are very smart, very shrewd, and they are starting to figure out that James Cameron is not telling you a story about an epic clash of civilizations, which is what I thought he was doing. That's not what he's doing. He just wants to have fun telling you the same miserable sob story about a dying planet where nothing changes. It's all family melodrama, and we rehash every single battle over and over and over again. Nobody wants to watch it. It's a bad joke, to quote the Joker. So roll tape, Mr. I think I see why, Crowbar, they might be thinking of dumping Avatar. That makes sense. You would think, well, $1.4 billion is a lot of money, but not if the last movie made $2.3 billion.
Our movie for me. Yes, sir, I do. The big blue
Hey,
high-res
Fu Man, what would you say my energy level is? I was predicting 70%. I think I'm at about 110. I think I'm at about 110. I don't know how to explain it. I guess I just, it's been a while since I did a Captain's Cast. It's all pent up.
Cats are back. Oh boy. And this one's gonna come in at a tight 90 minutes. Really? Yeah, you know what? I figure let's trim the fat on this one, keep the story focused. I'm just kidding, it's over 3 hours again. Okay, good. I was gonna say, it's not an Avatar movie if it's not a little tricky for people to fit into their schedules. Oh, it will be. Testing the limits of people's bladders is tight. So anyway, the last movie was called The Way of Water, and we had a bunch of water stuff, and this one's gonna be called Fire and Ash, so you can imagine what's gonna be in this one. I mean, I guess fire. Mostly water again, that's right. A little bit of fire, as a treat. There's going to be this fire tribe led by this lady Varang. And what's her deal? Well, she likes fire, and people are going to be a little weird about her on the internet, probably. Oh, wonderful. And what about her tribe? Oh, well, let me tell you about her tribe, sir. They're all painted kind of similarly, and they listen to her. Sick. And so obviously this...
People are going to be kind of weird about her on the internet.
movie brings us back to the world of Pandora and the world's most unforgettable protagonist, Jake Sully. Oh boy, I freaking love that guy and all the other... Navi. Of course, unforgettable. So what's going on with him in this one? Well, he's very busy, you know, yelling at his kids and making his one son feel responsible for the death of his other son to the point where he almost takes his own life. Oh my god. And also openly talking about how it's probably time to get rid of the adopted son Spider because he's a little complicated to have around. That feels like an unhealthy family dynamic. That must be hard on his wife. Oh, well, actually, Neytiri, she kind of hates all the kids too because they're part human. Wow, so much hatred in this family. Go good guys! Yeah! So they decide to bring Spider to the human scientist camp because keeping him around is super risky, merely an inconvenience. And why's that? Well, he needs an oxygen mask to breathe, so that's friggin' annoying. Plus his dad is that army guy Quaritch, so like that's not good. That makes sense. Be better at breathing and have a nicer dad if you want the good guys to accept you. Exactly. So
Be better at breathing, you stupid brat. That's pretty good. Redoubt Production says, all I'll say about the Avatar franchise is thank goodness I'll always remember Stephen Lang as the voice narrating the exhibits at Gettysburg Beyond the Battle Museum. Yeah, no, Stephen Lang is the one great thing in all three Avatar films. He's so good as Quaritch is the actual hero. Quaritch did nothing wrong. Quaritch did nothing wrong.
So we're bringing back that Quaritch guy again for this one. Well, of course, sir, because the people are gonna want to know, is the guy that keeps getting bested by Jake Sully gonna continue to get bested by Jake Sully? I feel like statistically, yes. Yeah, you know what? It is gonna happen again in this one. You are right about that.
This is such a great point. Like, I truly couldn't believe what I was watching when... So in the second film, okay, Avatar Way of Water, Quaritch was defeated in the first film, obviously. Second film... Jake Sully defeats him twice in Avatar Way of Water. In the third film, I think he defeats him 3 times if memory serves, but at least twice more. And in almost the exact same way. He's beaten so many times that the general tells him, you're kind of a fuck up and I don't want you anywhere near this mission. And it's like, I agree with her. Like that's a sound tactical decision. The guy has failed like 6 times to kill this guy. It's a real problem for an antagonist.
Anyway, as I was saying, they're bringing Spider to the scientist camp, but then they get ambushed by the Fire Tribe. Uh-oh. Yeah, so they freaking crash all over the place, they get split up, and Spider's mask runs out of oxygen. Oh, so Spider is dead. Actually, no, he's not. So does he get, like, gently picked up with a paper towel and placed outside? What? Ba-dum-ts. Okay. So what happens? It's gonna be tough for him to survive without oxygen. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, so what ends up happening is that Kiri, you know, Sigourney Weaver's character with the teenage body and the senior citizen voice, she saves him. Wow. Well, she's got...
The senior citizen voice. I love Sigourney Weaver, but that's so true.
The special connection to the planet's deity Awa, so she has her kind of gross.
Oh my god! You know, it's like that. This is so unbelievable in the movie. Nate, what the fuck, Kiri, whatever. She has like this connection to Awa or whatever, and she has this whole spiritual journey arc. It's super boring. But at the end of the film, she finally connects to Awa, and she's like, Mother, great mother who preserves all life and who loves everything on this planet and who exists only as love and beauty. Please help us, great mother, and kill them all. Kill them all. And I'm just like, wait, what? I thought you were the monk. I thought you were the spiritual... pacifist. What's all this genocidal talk here? And she immediately, that's basically, Kiri's like, kill him, get him rid of it. I'm like, what? It's so bad, man. It's so awful.
That lets him breathe. Oh, wow. What a cool moment. And she moans the whole time she's doing it, like she's making love, and it takes a while. I retract my previous statement. I'm not looking forward to seeing this scene.
I
Anyway,
forgot about that.
Quaritch shows up because he wants to get Jake, but then they team up to go find Spider. Because they're both daddy. Oh, that's a weird way of putting it, but yes. But then the kids get captured by the Fire Tribe. Uh-oh. And thus begins a long series of scenes in the movie where characters get captured and then somehow escape. Nice. So they all escape. Well, great. And then Quaritch, he gets captured on purpose by the Fire Tribe, and he's able...
Redoubt saying, Teenage Body's senior citizen voice. What did James Cameron mean by this? Look, he wanted Sigourney Weaver's character to have a role. That's all it is. He likes his actors. He wants them to have a place in it. And it's a bad creative choice. That's just what it is. It's just a weird, odd, bad creative choice to keep her in the movies. And that's kind of that almost, I think Cameron has reached a stage where he can't murder his darlings anymore. He can't choose what parts of his story have to go. And it's like he wants everything to be in there and show us all of his favorite toys. And it's like at some point you need to tell a mature story that's going somewhere, because you can't just keep doing this on repeat every time.
To flirt his way into becoming a boyfriend instead of a prisoner. What the hell are you talking about? Well, he starts hooking up with that fire lady so he can use her little army. Well, that's great, actually, because I'd love to learn more about the Fire Tribe. They seem super interesting. They will now practically become background characters. Oh, dang it. And then Spider gets captured. By who now? The human bad guys, because they want to do tests on him to see why he's able to breathe and why he's growing a little tail, because they'd like to do that, but for greedy purposes. Freaking greedy businessmen. All they care about is money. You know what? I respect the hustle. I kind of like these guys. Oh, well, you're not supposed to. Oh, are they not the relatable characters? Okay, my bad. Okay, anyway, then Jake gets captured. By who now? Oh, just by everybody, because they'd like to execute him now. That's fatal. It is. So then what happens? We'll see the characters that were captured, they escape. Right, you did say that might happen. But now that Jake and Neytiri have Spider back, they're like, okay, we definitely have to kill this kid now, because he's too valuable to the humans. He's dangerous now. Wow, they do not care for this kid. Well, actually, when Jake brings him out into the woods to kill him, he stabs next to his head, because he changes his mind at the last second. Well, wait, how's Spider gonna get over his adoptive father almost killing him but changing his mind at the very last second? By getting over it immediately. Oh, okay. Yeah, the movie's gotta keep going, so he's not gonna worry about that at all. Well, fantastic. So now the greedy guys are planning on killing a bunch of whales for greedy purposes. Nice. No, not
it's
nice.
Unbelievable.
Right, bad guys.
They repeat the whale hunt from the second film, and it's just bigger. It's just, we're gonna get more of the whales this time. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Oh, Star Fury. This franchise finally broke me. Are you happy? Star Fury's happy. I'm sure he's happy about that. Believe me, Crowbar, it's terrible. The final act of this film is ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. It literally is a beat for beat repetition of the ending of the second one. The ending of the second one is they're in the middle of a whale hunt. Jake Sully's kids are taken hostage. He rushes in with Neytiri. He fights hand to hand with Quaritch. Somehow, the hand to hand fight winds up as kind of a draw, and Quaritch doesn't die, but escapes. That's exactly what happens in the third one. Exactly. And by the way, complete even with the same beat of Awa sort of helping the whales, helping them fight the battle and everything. And it's just like, and nothing. And so this is how the movie begins. Okay. The movie begins with, Jake and his family are hiding from the humans. The humans are burning down Pandora. Quaritch got away from his battle with Jake Sully and needs to kill him. Do you want to know where the state of the world is at the end of the film? Jake Sully is hiding with his family from the humans. The humans are burning down Pandora, and Quaritch is now on a warpath to get Jake because he escaped their last battle. That's exactly how it began. That's exactly how it ends. And I'm like, I'll see it in 2 years, I guess, Jim. No, I don't think so. I'm tired of this. Redoubt says, wait, didn't they kill whales in the second one? Yes.
Ooh, don't do exploitation.
Oh, don't even get me started on the Whale Council. I was so done with this movie by then. I was like, they have this whole council because the whales are sentient, and they're like composer. They're genius. The whales are more genius than the Na'vi and the humans. They're even more better than even the Na'vi are, and they're even more peaceful. They consider the one whale that killed humans in its own self-defense after watching its entire family be murdered by them. That whale is officially an exile who is never to be allowed into their society again because he fought in his own self-defense. So they're trying to persuade the whales to defend themselves while also defending the whale that is exiled for defending himself. And they have this whole, like, they have all the whales together and they're doing this whole circle jerk where they're all like, they're talking through all these issues. And I'm just like, listen, this is way before I saw Project Hail Mary and fell in love with a talking rock. Well before that, I was like, I'm a pretty open-minded guy when it comes to science fiction. I can watch Kirk battle the crystalline Tholians. I can relate to Picard being upset that this scientist babe murdered the crystalline entity because it just wanted to feed. It wasn't evil. I can go with all those crazy wacky concepts. But sitting here in this theater watching the Na'vi argue with the whales that, like, I'm reaching a limit here. There's a limit, and I've hit it. I'm much more comfortable with the talking, crying like a baby over the potential death of the talking rock than watching these whales and their stupid tribal council.
So Jake's gonna have to gather all the other tribes to help out. That sounds familiar. Oh yeah, you know what? I think we have done that before. It was a whole big thing.
We've done it 2 times. 2 times before this film. He's the reluctant hero. I just want to run away. This isn't our problem. We can't beat the humans. Abandon all hope. But Jake, someone's got to do something. You've got to do something. Okay, I'll go wrestle one of the bigger flying guys, and I'll go rally the tribes. And you know what? You're right. You're right, Neytiri. Just like you were right the first 2 times. We'll fight. We'll fight and we'll win. I ain't doing this a 4th time. I can tell you that right now.
There's a quick little montage this time. Okay, yeah, you do good. Let's just do it. So then it's time for the big final fight. Oh boy. So there's gonna be army people and a bunch of Na'vi and a big ship, and the kids are gonna be in danger. Oh. Water everywhere. Sea creatures are gonna join in on the fight. Well, wait. That all sounds familiar too. It does, doesn't it? I think, man, that might be exactly what we did in the last movie. Oh, that's why this came into my head, because we did it already. Okay, well, we're gonna do it again. Or maybe we change it to something more fire-centric, since it's called Fire and
Oh my God. Oh God. See, this is what really kills me, is when someone throws out just what obviously would have been, oh my God. Oh my God. 15 years. The man spends 50 in his later years of life. He's giving up the end of his life as a director for this. 15 years. I think he hired at least 6, possibly 9 screenwriters to help him draft all of this. Endless, ludicrous budgets the size of a small country's GDP. And he can't even see that his film entitled Avatar Fire and Ash, the final set piece, should have no water in sight. It should be in a desolate volcanic valley. There should be lava and fire everywhere. How does he not see that? How does he miss that? How do you miss that? A decade And you miss that. How do you miss that? Oh, that just kills me. It just kills me.
No, it's gotta be water. I already wrote down water here. Fair enough. So then there's gonna be a final showdown between Quaritch and Jake is trying to reason with him. What do you mean? Well, he's like, hey, isn't it kind of great to be blue and learn the ways of the planet and have a really violent blue girlfriend? I guess Jake is familiar with that character arc. But then Quaritch is like, I don't want to join you, so he jumps off a cliff to his death. To the sequel.
To have a really violent blue girlfriend. It's pretty rad. You got it. That's exactly his pitch to Quaritch, because Quaritch has a violent blue girlfriend now, and he kind of likes it. He's into it, man. He's really into it. And Jake's like, listen, man, look around you, man. It's pretty fun, isn't it? Why are you still trying to kill me, huh?
Presumably, because what if he doesn't lose for a fourth time in a row? We gotta find out. Yeah. And what happens with Varung?
Oh my god.
She, believes she walks.
Wait. I gotta know if he loses for a fourth time in a row. I got to know.
Walks away, probably. The movie's just kind of ending, isn't it? It's just kind of ending, yeah. Well, okay then. So what do you think? Well, I mean, it feels a little familiar, but maybe people like familiar, you know? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe. We'll see what happens at the box office.
Hi, this is Ryan George from The Thing You Just Watched. Please enjoy this.
Oh, that was a good one. That was great. Hat tip to Ryan George. He really nailed it there. Redout Productions saying, this franchise is a grift, right? There's no way you can earnestly believe you're making high art with a plot like this, right? I mean, James Cameron seems to, it's a question of what he's interested in. And I just sort of naturally assumed that he was interested in a story about sort of a titanic battle of civilizations and a clash of cultures. You know, I mean, think of it like this. If you were going to make a series of films about the Spanish conquistadors and the fall of the Aztecs, which there's a lot of rich material there, you could tell a multi-film story about the fall of this Aztec empire and how Cortez rallied all these oppressed, terrorized people who hated the Aztecs' guts to help him overthrow them. It's amazing how that never gets told. They always tell the history as a bunch of Spaniards showed up and just butchered all these noble, savage Aztecs who had such a rich and meaningful culture. And it's like, no, what happened was Cortez saw them eating babies and cutting the heads off of basically all these poor people they had enslaved. And he was like, these fucking savages got to go. And I got gold to deliver back to the king and queen. So I'll tell you what. All you poor people that have been living under these psychopaths' boots and their crazy homicidal priests for all these hundreds of years, I got an offer for you. I need that gold, and you need some relief. How about we do a little team up? And they were like, where do we sign? And he basically rallied a rebel army to destroy these evil bastards. And quite frankly, Cortez did nothing wrong, and the Aztecs got what they fucking deserved. So you could take that to the bank. But in any case, where was I? I don't even remember. Anyway, James Cameron, I thought, wanted to tell a story sort of along those lines, in which there's some kind of resolution about what happens when these two cultures clash, and roughly speaking, a kind of rebel who's fighting in a lost cause but finds a way to win. You know, I sort of thought that's where we were going with this. And it turns out that James Cameron doesn't give a crap about any of that. He doesn't care about any of that. He doesn't care about the fate of Pandora. He doesn't care about the fate of Earth. He doesn't even seem to care about the fate of Jake Sully or his family. He just wants to tell sort of dark, miserable Swiss Family Robinson tales in the Avatar world. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to sit there and mulch and mope over all the same plot tropes forever and ever. And he never wants us to see any kind of a window into the human soul. He never wants us to get some kind of a glimpse about the state of humanity back on Earth. He doesn't ever want us to hear any kind of intelligent philosophical argument one way or the other. I mean, they have this scene in the movie. Jake Sully's been taken captive by the humans, and they're frog marching him through a crowd of humans in the human colony, and they're all like throwing things at him, and they're spitting, and they're yelling, "Traitor, traitor!" And I thought, this is actually kind of interesting. I'm actually kind of into this. I was genuinely pulled in because I was like, well, I'm actually really interested to see this trial. I want to see what his arguments will be when they say you've betrayed your own kind. You know, we're dying back on Earth, and what do? You go. Well, I need a colorful verb for this. You go diddle one of the poor natives and throw your own people under the bus, and we're all starving to death on Earth, and what do you have to say for yourself, young man? And then Jake Sully gives some sort of impassioned speech about the beauty and wonder of this world, and it's the things we carry with us make us who we are. We can't just use these people. It's wrong. It wouldn't be just or right. He has to persuade them. No, we don't get any of that. We just get Neytiri comes in, and we get a big bloated action scene where they escape, and it all means nothing. We don't get any window into what actual human civilians think about it. We don't know if they've been propagandized. We don't know if there's dissenters. Surely there would be protesters on Earth who are like, save the Na'vi. It's amazing to me that James Cameron doesn't see this. It's amazing to me that in the world we live in today, that he doesn't realize there would be legions of bleeding heart hippies holding signs for the Na'vi. There would be whole movements to preserve the Na'vi in Pandora. You know this would be the case. But he never presents that. He never presents any nuance or complexity at all. The humans in these movies are stupid. They are dumb. Sort of like in Fallout. They're basically like the characters in Fallout. They are stupid. They are uncurious. They are unmoved by natural beauty, which, by the way, is a complete contradiction of the film's messaging and theme. The film is constantly presenting the idea that the reason Jake Sully fell in love with this world is because he fell in love with the wonder and beauty of it. The doctor played by Sigourney Weaver. She argues that the richness of the world is in its ecosystem and its biosphere and in its spiritual mythos. Meanwhile, at the same time, the film is presenting the idea that the natural wonder and beauty of this planet is irresistible, that it's this very precious sacredness that we ourselves have lost on Earth, and that this is our birthright that we destroyed on our own planet, and now we're destroying it on this new planet. So why then, Jim, is it that none of the other humans are capable of seeing any of this? Even the soldiers, who would not necessarily give a shit, like they'd still be like, it has scales, kill it. But that doesn't mean they wouldn't have moments where they looked around them and said, wow, look at this place. Would you just look at that? I mean, they'd have to, because they're the same humanity that Jake is, that Grace is. And yet, they're totally uncurious. They're completely unmoved. They care nothing. They care nothing for anything on the planet. And that's, it's interesting. I talk about how the friendship between Grace and Rocky resonates with audiences because there's something so true in it, as fictional as it is. There's such truth there. Isn't it ironic then that in the nihilistic, cynical world of Avatar, the presentation of humanity in that film is a stone-cold lie? The film is lying to you, and it's lying to your face. That is why it went from $2.9 billion to $1.4. That's half for anyone who's counting. You cannot present a world that is arguing using your own perception as a human audience member. See, don't forget this. When you're sitting in an Avatar film, you are a human. I know, it's a bit of a, just stick with me on this. You are a human being, and you are being essentially presented with a world that is meant to invoke in you your natural human instinct and connection with beauty, myth, and the sacred, the spiritual, the natural. And yet, the film is presenting that very humanity as lacking all of that. As if to say that you lack that, which is not even possible, because if you did, you'd have no other reason to watch these vapid films. So it's a lie. It's a dirty, rotten lie, and I resent it. What else is in the stack of stuff, Mr. Producer? We'll do one. What do you think? One more? I think we'll do one more and then wrap it up. Maybe two more. We'll do two more because I have a couple of things. We could. You know what? Let's do the Paul Chatto one. Let's do that one. By the way, just real quick though, you got to see this. This is something to make you happy, chat. My dear sailors and starnauts, lurkers, you're included in this. This is for you too. Want to see something cool? What you are looking at here, my dear. Oh wait, no, this is this is the report of it. John Delarose. Star Trek Strange New World sets are being broken down. This means Alex Kurtzman planned year one with a Kirk, Spock, and McCoy reboot is not happening. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I know I have this, Mr. Producer. Let me go back to it. Jeez. I forgot I wasn't signed in on that one. Let me go to this one then. Damn it! I thought I had that picture. But it's a picture of the Starfleet Academy set being torn down. They're tearing it down, folks. We'll just skip to the good part. They're tearing down the set of Starfleet Academy, and that is a good thing, a very good thing. Now, I had one other good one. Oh yeah, this was a good one. There's just so many great expos. I think Alex Kurtzman. You know, these wackos act like they're above it all. They act like they don't care. I think it bothers them a lot that the only conversation of them online is how stupid they are. Alex Kurtzman is the dumbest man in entertainment. Have I mentioned that lately? But this is a perfect encapsulation of it. Like, so this is a, I love this post by Sacred Cow Shipyards. Says, with such riveting dialogue as this, I have no idea why Starfleet Academy was canceled. This is a collage of the dialogue in Kurtzman Trek. Quote, yeah, Dick, it's a thing. Quote, morning wood. Underwater hookups. Dude, bruh, batshit cannibal. That's an actual phrase spoken in Star Trek. Batshit cannibal. Eat glass, bro. Eat glass? What? This is an actual quoted phrase from Kurtzman Trek. Are you ready for this? Slippery cat piss aftertaste. Wise ass space rat. Dude's judgy as hell. Oh my God. I apologize for my generation. I apologize. Wimp ass bird boy. Joined the asshole factory. What? Some of these I'm like, I can't even puzzle out where that's from. I'm pro kid shit. I shouldn't even be saying these because these are going to be attributed to me. Who even talks this way? Ball clenching, sphincter puckering. My boo, my bestie. I'm Keonian, bitch. Oh my God. Yeah, just. These shows like Starfleet Academy and The Acolyte and Ironheart and Echo and these films like Indiana Jones and The Dial of Destiny and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania and the Marvels, Rings of Power and Willow and Velma and She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, Peacemaker. These are films, these are shows that are made by stupid people. Fucking morons who eat glue. And we've had enough. We've had enough. I read this and I can only say,
Jesus.
It's a bad situation, man. But they are being torn down, so rest in piss, Kurtzman Trek. Oh, yes, Crowbar. The wokesters were seething. I can't believe I just totally created a fake highlight reel of quotes now that can be attributed to me. It's so bad. I can't even believe that. It's just so bad. Who even writes shit like this? You know, I was playing Fallout 76 the other night, and Asmongold, it's like, there's still some of these things I can't even see until someone helps me see it, and now I can't unsee it. And Asmongold gets credit for this one. He pointed out, like, because he reacts to a lot of these videos that diagnose the dialogue problems in AAA video games and kind of the kind of style that they always have. And I was playing Fallout 76, and there was a character that was exactly like what's always in these AAA games. And it's an NPC. It's usually a chick, and she's got like an annoying, perky voice. And she's like, okay, well, we're going to send you on a mission. It's like really dangerous and stuff, so try not to die. And it's just so obnoxious. It's just the most obnoxious dialogue. And it's exactly what I encountered in Fallout 76. There's this scientist, and she's like, well, I kind of need your help. And you're like, there's a bunch of zombies here, like ghouls. Like, you're in danger, aren't you? And she's like, well, you could call it danger. That's what some might call it, but I call it research. And it's like, they all write like this. It's like they print them in a lab. It doesn't matter what game you're playing. They all talk like this. And no human talks this way. Like, no actual person speaks this way. But for some reason, these glue eaters that write this game dialogue all think this way. And it's like, stop writing stupid, unfunny jokes and just have the character speak normally about what's happening in the scene. Could you just do that? Could you just do that? Could you just have it be like, oh my God, yes, I know, but this research is important and I can't abandon it. Please help. I'm fine with that. Just let it be like that. The wokesters are definitely seething that Starfleet is getting torn down, and I'm here for it. There's tens of them that are unhappy about it, for sure. Now, I think I covered that. I think I covered what I needed there, Mr. Producer. Oh my God. I do have this video though of like, if I'm not going to play all of it. Let me see if I can find it. It was, if Skyrim were made today, if it were made by a modern audience, let me see. Control F, Skyrim. I just need to find it. It's in my stack of stuff on YouTube, Mr. Producer. That's where I have it. I'm not going to play all of it because it's too long, but I'm just going to give you like a flavor of it because, oh my God, it is so dead on accurate. It is so deadly accurate. And it's exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah, here it is. I've got it. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable when you see this. Okay, here we go. Load it on this screen, Mr. Producer. Audio enabled. Share screen. Okay, so Asmund was reacting to this video, and the video was by, he always puts it in the description here, Skyrim, but it's a modern game. Okay, let's just, I'm just going to go straight to that video, actually, in fairness to the, I just want to get straight to the video. Dr. Foxotic. It speaks for itself. This Skyrim, if it were a modern game.
D, it's me, Lydia. I need you to wake up, D.
Lydia? Where am I? What is this place?
Welcome to Skyrim, D.
Before you think this is too over the top, never forget that in Assassin's Creed Shadows with Yasuke the Black Samurai, in game they literally laced the soundtrack with rap beats. It takes place in feudal Japan. It's in feudal Japan, and they put a hip hop beat with the theme song for Yasuke. So don't even dare think that this is over the top.
Hey, this fool finally woke.
Hey.
My name's Ralph, and my
Woke.
pronouns are ya dig. You got caught speaking hate speech, right? Same as us, and that in wall over there.
Focus, D. Listen to them talk.
You,
They'll
Mr.
tell
Far
you
Right.
more about the
I was
story
not
of the
speaking
game.
hate speech. I was telling the guards my name, and they misheard me. You see, my first name is Nick, second name Gurr. This was all a big misunderstanding.
Okay, just a little. Let me get to the part where you are like at the village. It just gets worse and worse. You gotta watch.
Hey, handsome. Why don't you come a little closer so I can get to know you better?
Hurry, D. Use the auto walk feature to walk to the soldier.
So what's your name?
To unlock the other races, purchase the battle pass.
Oh, I forgot about this. The descriptions of the races are so good. And also you have to pay. You have to pay to unlock them. Nord. Natives of Skyrim. Nords are an intelligent, black-skinned people. With a plethora of culture and intelligence. They are famous for their musical abilities and having lots of culture. They mainly consume chicken. Oh no, I can't even say it. Okay. Oh no. Oh my god.
See anything you like? Orcs have been removed from the game.
Redguard. Orcs have been removed from the game.
D. No to racism.
Natives of Hammerfell. Redguards are an intelligent, black-skinned people with a plethora of culture and intelligence. They are famous for their musical abilities and having lots of culture. I can't say what they mostly consume.
To unlock the other races, to unlock the
hailing from the province of Elsewhere, people who were assigned Khajiit at birth represent all our furry friends.
other races, purchase the battle pass. To unlock the other races, purchase the battle pass. To unlock the other races, purchase.
Okay, the High Elves, a subversive race known for infiltrating foreign governments and manipulating populations through control of the media, blackmail, and assassinations. They also spread amorality, depravity, and degeneracy. Awesome sauce. Disclaimer, any similarities between High Elves and Israelis are purely coincidental. It's so, oh my god, dude, check out this video. It's if Skyrim were a modern game. It's so dead on accurate. I gotta make sure that like I'm not getting a warning from the, I don't think so. Okay, cool. I think I'm okay. I don't think it should be copyright, but you never know.
The battle pass.
Okay, let me get Dark Elves. They're basically elves but Smurfs, and who doesn't love Smurfs, right? Oh, and another thing, they love mushrooms, and before you ask, no, not that kind of mushrooms. Oh my god. That's typical. That's the millennial humor.
The other races, purchase the battle pass.
Oh, this is my favorite. I love this one, the Bretons, because I often play as a Breton in Skyrim. So the Breton, an evil race of white-skinned people who benefit from Breton privilege and love nothing more than excelling in academia and intellectual pursuits, thereby outperforming other races in these fields and destroying equality of outcome. Disgusting. Disgusting. They're gross. Look at this. We Nords have a simple message for the Empire. Stop killing us. Oh my god, this is so genius.
The last time. Thanks to the Empire's Made program, I now have the right to assist you in your unaliving. And because you are a bigot, your unaliving is justified.
See that pride flag?
What the hell was that?
See that pride flag?
To be Dragon ASMR because it's a little too loud.
Tiagua is nothing.
Oh my god. Okay, I think that you get the picture, but yeah, again, so that's Dr. Foxotic Skyrim, but it's a modern game. That is so good. I can watch that whole thing actually. We was Vikings. Yes, Crowbar. Okay, let me get, I said I was going to do a couple more. Okay, yeah. So we've got Paul Chatto. How did Hollywood get so stupid? So I haven't watched this yet. I wanted to check this one. You know what? Actually, we're going to watch that. We are going to watch that, but I totally forgot. I have not seen the Supergirl trailer. I have not seen it, and I was saving it for the live stream. So we'll do that one. We'll do that one, Mr. Producer. If you guys want to see the How Did Hollywood Get So Stupid, let me know in the chat. We'll watch it. But I forgot I wanted to get to Supergirl because I haven't seen it yet. And I can't... Everyone's talking about the Supergirl trailer, so I need to know what I think about it. As do you, my beloved audience. Okay, here we go. So... I am so, like, the fatigue for James Gunn is real. The James Gunn fatigue is serious. It's interesting. The Superman movie has serious problems, but, like I said, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It wasn't terrible. It had some potential. I think that everything surrounding the Superman movie combined with that movie has just got me to a place where I do not care about anything involving Gunn's DC Universe. I don't want any of it. I don't want to see any of it. I hope it's dead. I hope it's done for. I hope it's Kurtzman Trek and they're tearing it down. But who knows? Maybe this will change my mind.
Hey, I was just touching base to see when you think you might be coming back. You know, I'm just worried that you're not going to find your stride here if you keep going off-world all the time, Kara. I'm worried you're not going to find your people.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Clark. I have no people. Home is wherever you are, buddy. Crypto and
Yeah, James Gunn can only do Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it's... You know, it makes me think of exactly my critique of Cameron with Avatar. It's like, don't you want to do something different? Don't you want to explore something kind of new? Like, why is every film you do just another opportunity to do Guardians of the Galaxy? It's a shame that Joss Whedon went the way of the dodo, because he could have made this work.
I at least had each other. Honestly, I thought we were lucky. But luck, almost by definition, runs out. What can I do?
The Brickens carry the antidote on that person. He has 3 days.
You cannot give up on me.
It's a crime of...
So this is kind of spoiled for me because I already heard that, like, that's basically the plot of the movie, that Crypto is the MacGuffin they're trying to save. But wow. Oh, I don't think I could show this. I don't think I could show it because I'm getting a warning already. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to watch the rest of it real quick. But off screen. Here we go. I'm just going to do this. I hate to do this, but they'll give me a warning if I don't. Actually, screw it. We'll just let it go. Okay, I've seen enough. I don't want to risk the stream getting taken down. But that's bad, man. That is really bad. I'm trying to think if there's a way I could watch it while playing music, but I can't. Oh, wait. I could do... never mind. We'll just let it go. Well, let it go. Let it go. Let it go, Garrett. Let it go. I think I agree with you, Crowbar, cringe factor 9,000. The fact that Crypto is the inciting incident, Crypto being in peril is the inciting incident. Let's just put aside all other concerns with the film. That is so one note as to be really embarrassing for James. That is embarrassing. It's so one note. You could go to every outline he does, and it boils down to, and Crypto is in jeopardy and has to be saved. It's like, bruh, you can't. You've got all of these comic books you could refer to. You have all of this source material that you could. If you can't think of a thing for Clark or Kara to fight for, you can go back to the source material and just plagiarize something. Or just plagiarize something you like. Why should every story be about saving the dog? Fuman says, oh boy, a derivative of Gunn's derivative self-referential style. Yeah, exactly. It's worse than watching a guy streaming another guy who's streaming another guy. That sounds bad. That sounds really, really bad. Look, what have we come to? You know, honestly, if films and shows and everything hadn't gone so south, I wouldn't even be here right now. Do you realize this? Have you thought about this? The whole reason I sort of started, I never watched YouTube videos. Like, I would watch them for, like, how to change my car battery. Like, I would do that. but I never like watched it, you know. And then I just got to a point where there was never anything good on TV. I was really tired. There's nothing to really entertain me. And I was so like bored that I started watching, I would watch a YouTube video here or there. And it was really like Critical Drinker videos. It's like one of the first things I started binging on YouTube. I just binged through all of his reviews at his backlog. And I was like, those are pretty good. And then of course I saw him on live streams, which connected me to Gary, which connected me to more. And it's just this whole rabbit hole. And then I pretty soon started thinking like, you know, because I had been like experimenting with podcasts and stuff like that. And then I was like, I could do this. That looks fun, you know? And so I started my channel. And now I help, hopefully, I mean, I hope, I provide entertainment for you. Which means look, if entertainment becomes great again, it could render me obsolete. You may not need me anymore for your entertainment. Think of that. Now, we wouldn't want that to happen, would we? Would we? I use an old Biff and Back to the Future reference there. But in all seriousness, nothing would make me happier than to become obsolete because the Renaissance had revived our culture. Readout saying, I'm so indifferent, I cannot even spell Supergirl right. Yeah, no, I hear you. So let's then pivot since Warner Brothers is being mean. I may still have to trim this segment. They are so ridiculous. But since they're being mean, I am going to... It is really weird. You know, I can't help but think, because they always say all press is good press, right? Why do you think that they're so aggressive about copyright blocking anyone streaming their trailers when plenty of film companies are not? Plenty of film companies are happy for you to stream their trailers. Why? But why Warner Brothers? Why are they so precious about this? And I think it's because they really hate the negative. I think they're trying to suppress the negative commentary on their movies. Don't think that they're not. It's just a theory. I can't prove it one way or the other. But, you know, there is a type of fan, you might say, that will defend the gun universe to the death. And it's not because they're enjoying it. In fact, I think they're at a point where they have a kind of Stockholm syndrome where they hate it. But the problem is the people they hate more, us, also hate it. And so to own the chuds, they have to love it. And it's really a derangement. It's a disease, you might say. It even has a name. It's called Shillery by proxy. It's extremely debilitating. It's highly embarrassing. It results in a lifetime supply of virginity. And they suffer, folks. These, what we call shills, they suffer terribly. And there once was hope in a potential cure for their disease so that they could stop being such pathetic shills all the time and maybe just be regular, normal humans. But that ship has sailed, regrettably, and so we turn to a man who studies the shill and studies their disease in hopes that he might develop an inoculation, you might say, in order to prevent its spread to the rest of humanity. He is a servant of humanity himself. His name is Mr. Grizzy. And he has for us another report on the depths of absolute misery and pure human wallowing that these shills suffer to. As a feel sorry for them, chat. Feel sorry for them. They suffer. They suffer. Without further ado, Mr. Grizzy, please, if you would, sir. Oh, the Mass Effect music. Oh, God, this guy. Oh, jeez.
You was crying like a pussy.
Yeah. Wonder which grifter's gonna grab something from this since I did cry. Who knows?
Says the guy who literally ugly cries. You know what? Just press play. I can't keep it on this freeze frame, okay?
I thought the first Supergirl trailer was pretty good. I fucking love this trailer.
Oh my God.
I loved it.
it's perfect.
Generational. Yeah, I'm
generational.
I can't
Come on. Oh my God! Never doubt this is a derangement. This is a disease. Think of this seriously. Why are they like this? They literally define their love of it as like a resistance, to people they don't like being right that it sucks. That's really what bothers them, or as Grizzy likes to say, and perhaps his theory is closer to the truth. But his theory is that they hate it that we have more fun laughing at it than they do watching it.
To see Millie Alcock as Supergirl. I think it's going to be fantastic.
To me, like my most anticipated DC project.
That's the one thing I will say. I do think Millie Alcock is hot as Supergirl. That's the one thing I will say. In Gunn's defense, that's the one thing I can offer. Women are babes in the Gunn universe. That's a pretty low bar, though. Pretty low bar.
It bought my ticket. I'm ready to go.
Listen, that's how you answer the critics, and that's how you answer all the negative stories around your movie. You come out with a kick-ass 3-minute trailer.
Yeah, so
have you, exactly dude, John Roca, this guy, this is Ozempic face. This guy's on Ozempic. I'm telling you right now. Because 1 minute he's a fat slob, the next minute he's like an emaciated vegan. There's only one thing in the universe that causes that transformation, and that's Ozempic. He 100% is on it. I guarantee you. I guarantee it. Crowbar says she's not that hot. Fu Man says she's not. She's not hot. I thought you were agreeing with me, Fu Man, because you said yeah in the chat. I assume you meant that you agreed with me that Millie Alcock was. Yeah, she's a bit, Well, everyone knows the captain has unusual tastes. So anyway, roll tape.
Has this answered the critics? Because based off of what I can see, they are still shitting on this project.
It is difficult in such a short window for a trailer to have an emotional punch, and I thought it did. At least for me. That's how it hit me.
Why is that, Campia? Because of the stupid CGI dog that James Gunn insists on making a major plot point in every single one of these Superman movies? More on that a little later.
And I will die. I know I'm going to be called up over your shilling, but no, I don't understand how you would look at that and be like, man, he looks garbage. What? No, come on. That looked good. That was a good official trailer for Supergirl.
Okay, question. If the trailer was as good as you say it is, then why is the Millie Alcock playing fake victim story dominating all the headlines rather than how great this trailer is?
I will say she doesn't look great in this picture. That's fair to say. She does not look great in this still. I don't know. I just have a thing for women that have kind of a weird hotness to them, and she's got a weird hotness. It's not like a conventional hotness. She's no Trisha Helfer, that's for sure. She's no Katie Sackhoff. Katie Sackhoff and Trisha Helfer were in my consciousness because Trisha Helfer was wishing Katie Sackhoff happy birthday recently. And I bookmarked it. I'm not proud of it. Fu Man Blue says, remember when pretty much every movie had a hot chick in it? Now it only happens by accident, like Sydney. I feel like the tide is turning.
And how excited fans are.
I think the trailer is the trailer itself tells a good story. I think people forget about the art of good trailer storytelling. And this told us the act 1 and 2, but then it's also crescendoing with the emotion by the point where all three of us were like, we all have chills right now.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that with the last trailer at all.
So you're saying that this trailer gave away the act 1 and act 2 of this movie?
Not a great plan.
Now, I don't know about all of you, but to me, that sounds like desperation.
This trailer is Woman of Tomorrow. This is what I wanted this movie to feel like. This feels so many layered in its emotion. I love that first announcement trailer gave people a taste of how different the comic is.
Oh, it's all, it's just so caught red-handed when Grizzy shows the pictures of these shills with their access to the actors, the directors, the producers. It's like, oh, yeah. Very genuine opinion, surely.
It's hard not to think this isn't going to be a great movie and a great story with great action, with a really emotional...
Oh, there he is. There he is. You know, have you noticed how, like, these actors, they always circle the wagon? Like, for example, Ewan McGregor making that car video about what was her face that played Reva in Obi-Wan. And he says, and he's just putting down the fans and saying, she's wonderful. She's a wonderful actress. She's such a great person, blah, blah, blah. And we always think, like, you know, why do they circle the wagons like that? It's professional courtesy. I don't hold it against actors. Actors are like this all the time. They'll say nice things about each other. Well, you know, people maybe didn't like that movie. You know, there are exceptions. Quentin Tarantino's a great exception. He'll just trash anyone, and I love that. I respect it highly. But you recently had Andy Weir, the author of Project Hail Mary. By the way, slight housekeeping. In the last edition of the Captain's Cast, I incorrectly, it's rarely, but it does happen. I incorrectly stated that Andy Weir wrote Silo. That was not him. That was a different author who wrote Wool and the Silo series. So that was incorrect. But anyway, where was I, Mr. Producer? I went on too many directions there. Well, you get the idea. Roll tape. It'll come to me.
Really touching moments, which is kind of almost the exact same experience we had with Superman.
Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but for me, the beast doesn't include selling out.
I know people were giving this criticism because they were like, oh, it feels just like Guardians of the Galaxy. But to be fair, that's kind of what the vibe is going for, and I think that's okay.
And I don't think this movie's going to feel like Guardians of the Galaxy at all.
I think they purposely cut this so it didn't have any vibes of the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff.
Okay, what was Guardians 3 about?
Why are they such fucking liars all the time? They're such liars. Oh, they literally, they're like, it's like a toddler that you ask, hey, were you eating candy? And they've got chocolate all over their face, and you're like, were you eating candy? And they were like, no. And then you're like, where'd you hide it? And they're like, it's not over there. You know, it's like, that's exactly what the shills are like. We're like, hey, is anyone else getting a Guardians of the Galaxy? It's not Guardian. It looks exactly the opposite of Guardians of the Galaxy. Why are you saying that? Why are you so obsessed with convincing us of that? Because you know it does look like Guardians of the Galaxy, and you know that that's derivative and stupid.
Again, we all had to come together to rescue the CGI raccoon, and what's this about? Oh, we all have to come together and rescue the CGI dog now.
And this will be the test of, can other directors come in and do this and have their own?
There's something deeper to me about, because yeah, it's repetitive and it's lame, but it's more than that. It's more than that. It's like this focus on saving the dog, right? It's not that, you know, obviously I love dogs. I care about dogs. John Wick is a great movie about him getting revenge for the death of his dog. But see, even in the case of John Wick, it's not revenge. It's not just revenge for the dog. Yes, part of it is it's revenge for the dog. But there's a deep-seated layer to it. And the deep-seated layer is that the dog was the parting gift from his wife. It was a symbol of life and continuing to live. It was a symbol of renewal and grace. It was her symbol of grace for him. She knew that her death would cause John to blame himself for her. He would believe that because of his sins, he had doomed her, that the universe was punishing him for trying to have a good life. Because he was an assassin. He didn't deserve it. And she knew that. So she made arrangements for the dog to be given to him as a symbol of her saying, you deserve grace and forgiveness. You deserve a better life, and I want that for you. I don't want you to use my death as an excuse to hate yourself or to believe you're doomed or to give up. And the dog is there also to be a companion, a living being that you take care of in my absence. Like, oh, there's so many elements of it that are just amazing. And when the Russian thugs kill the dog, They are taking all of that away from him. This beautiful gift of his late wife, they're stealing it from him. And in a way, it's like they're killing her. So he's not just on a revenge quest for the dog. There's multiple levels of pathos there that is driving that. Which, all of that to say that in the case of James Gunn making this story focused on saving a dog, it's as if to say there's nothing more important in the universe. That's the problem with it. It's as if to say, I can't think of anything that a super being like Supergirl could do that would be helpful. I can't really think of anything that would be more worth the audience's time. Not saving a civilization, not righting wrongs on Earth, not protecting innocent people from evil people, not stopping a godlike being from collecting a bunch of stones and snapping everyone out of existence. I'm not saying it's what it should be, but no. There's nothing like that. Nothing about justice or stopping evil or learning how to do the right thing. And, it's about saving a pet. That's the most meaningful thing that James Gunn can think of for Supergirl to trouble herself over. And there's something about that I find incredibly cynical and depressing. If you want to know the truth.
Own tone and have it still fit within what they're trying to do.
From totally not James Gunn looking over his shoulder every second.
I want to make sure that Greg Gillespie is still directing this and it's not too James Gunn inspired, because this, when I'm watching this and listening to the music, I'm like, are we sure James Gunn didn't direct this?
I don't know about you guys, but you can just tell, can't you, that Roxy's about to say something stupid.
This shot was in the initial trailer too, and people had qualms with Craig Gillespie about the James Gunn situation that you just mentioned. However, I do feel like overall this trailer really put people at ease on that, because this did not feel like Guardians, this trailer, in any way. This did not feel like Guardians, this trailer, in any way.
Well, I can change that in a hurry.
I disagree.
Favorite.
But
It's my
yeah,
favorite.
a lot of it felt, and you know what it is? It's the music.
Such a way.
It feels like he chose all the music.
I didn't feel that way about this at all.
fair.
Well, that's because you're an idiot.
I even liked the last trailer. I didn't mind the Guardians of the Galaxy references, because I mean, like, it's those are three really good movies. So I mean, if you're gonna make a reference to something, those are good movies to make a reference to.
Oh, so now it does feel like Guardians, but that's okay because those are three really good movies.
Like, it does feel very Guardians, but also I don't think that's a bad thing.
There is a look to the cosmic infinitude of the universe in comic books. Very heavy metal. And it's hard to get away from that. So when people say, oh, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, to me, it looks like what the comic book universe from multiple companies look like from the 80s to now. So I don't have a problem with that.
Oh, this is a new one. So all cosmic comic book movies look the same anyway, and it's impossible to get away from that. Now, I disagree with that personally, but why are you ignoring all of the other aspects of this trailer that feel like Guardians?
Yeah, that's the issue, because I like Robert Meyer Burnett a lot, but his problem here, the flaw in his logic that he fails to recognize, is that we're not saying it's not just the aesthetic. The aesthetic is not just the issue. The issue is the comedy, the tone, the presentation of the characters, the kind of situations they're in. All of it is identical. It's all a repeat. It's just the pace and the general texture of the story looks exactly the same.
Look of some of these characters, the James Gunn music that's in these trailers, and of course having the same plot as Guardians 3, like we mentioned earlier.
Rip off!
And the anti-James Gunn people are already having...
Yeah, Redoubt saying, why are we referencing Guardians of the Galaxy in a Supergirl movie? Well, the interesting thing is, I'm not against the idea of Supergirl being different than Clark. I'm not against the idea of her having a different kind of attitude, having a different kind of story arc. I actually think that could be pretty refreshing in the right vehicle. I'm also not against having her out in space and doing something What bothers me is that it's all very derivative and it's all very one note. And that's the real issue. And this dumb shill is about to make the argument that essentially this is just anti-James Gunn. It's like, we're just anti-James Gunn. We're just anti-James Gunn. I was rooting for James Gunn. I was rooting for James Gunn to be successful when he took over DC because DC was a dumpster fire. And my hope was that he would oversee a much more cohesive, clear universe, that he would continue the good things and make it work. And at the time that he took over, I think that the basic elements that the Snyderverse had set up were salvageable. I think they were salvageable, but he dumped all of that. He got rid of Henry Cavill. He said all kinds of mixed and weird things on social media. He created a universe that it has no clear boundaries or rules. We have no idea which movies are part of the canon and which aren't. And he generally just annoyed the shit out of everyone with his narcissism. So I'm not anti-James Gunn. I'm not anti-Supergirl being a space adventure movie. I am anti whatever the hell this is that we're seeing.
But out for this movie, and they'll never give it a shot.
All from the basement of their mom's homes.
Now, Superman being in it, I've seen some people complain about that, being like, oh, they're so desperate. They're so desperate. I mean, like, come on. This is a DC cinematic universe. It's connected in, it's kind of odd to me. People complain when things aren't connected, and then when they are connected, all of a sudden that's a problem.
No, what we're saying is that James Gunn and company bringing in Corn Sweat and bringing in Momoa for all of these reshoots due to bad test screenings seems a little desperate.
I don't think you can really please anyone. People will always be like, well, they put Superman in this to make people want to go see Supergirl. Really? You think that is the entire... Like, they're just like, that's their own Hail Mary, right?
So anyone that is mad about this, because I can already foresee the future, people complaining about how this is a desperate grab of attention. No, it's just called marketing.
Why are they always talking about, this is so weird. Why are their arguments always so fixated on what other people are saying? Have you noticed this about them? Genuine question. This isn't even a rhetorical question. This is a genuine question. Do I do this? Like when I'm talking about Project Hail Mary, I guess I did say that the more I hear people telling me it's overrated, the more I like it. I did say that. But did I frame it as I could already hear people say that Project Hail Mary is this and this and that, and all I could say is they just are anti-sci-fi. They're just anti-blah, blah, blah. Do I ever talk this way about it? I don't, unless I'm directly responding to the shills, I don't think I do. I just find this a very bizarre way of reviewing everything you do. Like saying, I'm going to review this through the lens of what the people I hate are saying about it. Like, that's just such a bizarre mindset, isn't it?
8 test screenings.
Maybe I'm just blind to it. Maybe I do this too, and I just don't know I'm doing it.
And 3 different endings tested.
I don't think
Again, that spells desperation to me.
Pay attention to my words. I never said everybody was a bot. I said some people are bots. Some people are influenced by bots.
And all people did was ask that you provide
Aren't we
proof
just a
of these
snarky
accusations, which
little
you did
goblin?
not, and which once again you failed to do here.
You can have an opinion. You can not like
I
stuff.
can?
That's fine.
Okay.
But when it's repeating the same line I hear over and over and over and over and over, you're either influenced by a grifter or you're a bot.
You see, because
Ugh. Just everything about that. Ugh. Literally, the shills that repeat the same dumb opinions and performances for every stupid trailer, for every mediocre movie that inevitably flops, delivering this lecture.
Because when these people say you're allowed to not like or dislike something, what they really mean is, yeah, you can dislike it, but we don't want you to come out and comment on it. We don't want you to go out online and state your opinion.
That's a
on
good
it.
point.
You need to just shut up.
Shut up. Find something you like or move that energy into something that matters.
because these people want everybody to like.
Let's see. I need a reply to that, Mr. What is my reply to that statement? I must have something.
Does this mean we're not friends anymore? You know, if I thought you weren't my friend, I just don't think I could bear it.
What they like, and when a majority of people dislike what they like, it ruins their enjoyment of it.
People pay attention. Stop letting some idiot get in your ear. All that dude did was want to sow discontent and make money off your misery.
Oh, so kind of like how you try to make money off of fake crying in your reaction videos for clicks?
I'm not bothered by anything anybody says. Like, that doesn't bother me.
It clearly does. You opened your...
Can I just point out something I find odd about this guy? And believe me, I know that's a long list, but in the left side of the screen, you will notice in his background, he has the mask or a bust or something of Art the Clown. Art the Clown from the Terrifier films, which are probably the most sadistic and violent horror films ever. That's literally the brand for the Terrifier films. Now, of course, I have nothing against anyone enjoying horror films. Nothing wrong with that. But this is the same guy who's like, oh, he's crying about how great the movies are. And he's like, just have a better attitude. Just be positive. Stop with all the negativity. Meanwhile, he's got Art the freaking Clown behind him. Something doesn't add up there. It just doesn't.
Video with this before even getting to your fake reaction.
It's just the sheer amount of stupidity and people misrepresenting and what I said and not listening to what I said, instead listening to what somebody said I said, was a bit maddening.
All I said in that previous video, and I'll leave a link to it at the end of this one, all I said was, show me proof that there are bots pushing negativity surrounding the Supergirl film.
So just remember, if I say something and it rubs you the wrong way, you probably misunderstood me, or I just didn't explain myself well enough, because I'm never here to rub people the wrong way unless you're just getting upset over stupid things, like people enjoying things just because you don't.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
I don't really have anything against the guy enjoying Supergirl or anything. What I am annoyed by is the feeling I get that he's fake enjoying it. That's what annoys me. And also the sense that his arguments in its defense are disingenuous. That's what bothers me. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. That's what annoys me about him. Not that he's enjoying it. If he's genuinely enjoying it, I would actually expect slightly different reactions. That's what I think.
You've got a female-led superhero film in Supergirl, and so there's some negativity around that.
Oh my God, they never stop. These wackos, these fucking lunatics, they never stop with the politics, do they? It's just so constant with it. It's always about how it's a female-led character. It's like there's 1,000 of them. It's not even a big deal anymore.
I respect the women. And I saw some people comment like, oh, well, she just alienated the audience. And it's like, no, she didn't. She's talking about a specific minority number of people. Why is she alienating the male audience? By speaking about the things that we actually know are true.
Roka, have you seen the reaction to this on social media? She has 100% turned a significant amount of people off with regards to going to see this movie now, because people are tired of the fake victim routine.
People are going to feel emboldened to comment on her body or on a woman being in this space.
Who was talking about her body? I haven't seen anybody talking about that with regards to any of these trailers.
Now, I don't think she's talking about any level-headed men in the space, and there are a lot of level-headed men in the space. She's talking about specifically that minority of incels and angry dudes who hate anything female-led and female-based.
No, she's not. She never emphasized that she's talking about a vocal minority, quote unquote. She's playing fake victim and setting the stage for when this movie flops. Who's going to get blamed for it? All the men Millie Alcock is referencing in this interview for not showing up to support the movie.
It's going to be a win for everybody. Everybody that complains about, Ray and Mary Sue's, that's not the case here.
Nah, she's more of a Rachel Zegler, but don't
Chris
say that
Gore,
on social
yes.
media, because if Angry
Rachel
Joe sees you
Zegler
say
energy.
that on social media, he will call your ass out like he did Nerdrotic and Chris Gore. Because if you dare say anything negative about Millie Alcock, that is little dick energy, quote unquote, says the good little boy who pretty much begged his audience to go see the movie.
Please go out and support it. Go out and support your boy, okay? You go out and watch the movie, you're supporting what your boy likes and making me happy, okay?
He's a pussy. That's terrible.
I don't know. I'll leave it up to y'all to decide what the real little dick energy is.
Oh, we still got more?
Kara's relationship with Crypto. I mean, I think that's the thing that is really going to carry this movie through.
There are moments of Crypto and Kara who you feel like you can't live without. Their bond is so special.
Crypto is truly all she has.
And God, I just want to throw up in my mouth. Fu Man Blue says, I didn't used to hate anything female-led. That was not in direct response to you, Fu Man. I meant to the shills, but... I did used to hate anything female-led. Now I do. Won't watch a one now. My number one rule. I don't feel that way at all. I don't feel that way at all. I am fine with... I still like anything that is led by a great protagonist that's exciting. But I do have a problem with never having male-led characters. A perfect example, I'm watching Maul Shadowlord. But trust me, this is no surprise. You weren't going to snooker me, but an acquaintance of mine was twisting my arm to watch it. He was like, "You got to watch it. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. I'll watch it." And I was like, "Okay, fine for you. I will watch it." But I'm going to tell you what I think about it, and I'm going to be honest about it. So it may not make you happy what I think about it. Oh, it's going to be good, man. I'm like, I'll be the judge of that. So I start watching Maul Shadowlord, and the scenes with, I will give it credit for this, because I did tell the guy, I was like, part of my problem is I'm really burnt out on Filoni. I really am. Like, the Clone Wars was good. It did have a lot of filler episodes I really rolled my eyes at. Star Wars Rebels, not as good, but it had a couple bangers in it. Yeah, for sure. Bad Batch, totally unwatchable. It's the same formula over and over and over. I'm really tired of it. I'm really bored of it. I'm never going to watch one of these again, like ever. I'm done with these animated shows. I start watching Maul Shadowlord, and I have to say, if there was one that I could watch and enjoy, this is probably the one. Is kind of the feeling I'm getting as I'm watching it, because seeing Darth Maul just be a badass and cut apart rival gang lords with his dual lightsabers, I won't lie, it was pretty good on some scenes, and I was enjoying that quite a bit. And there were some elements of it that were fun, but wouldn't you know it, almost immediately, 2 Jedi who escaped Order 66. Oh, jeez, fuck, not one, but 2 Jedi who are they're on a city planet, by the way, a city planet, and where there's like Imperial proxy presence anyway, and they are 2 Jedi living in exile, and of course one of them is a girl. She's snotty. She's got a chip on her shoulder. And she does something stupid that gets her in trouble and gets her thrown in prison. And it turns out she knows Maul. Maul breaks into the prison for another reason, and he breaks her out. And he decides that she's going to be his apprentice. And he starts working on her to be his rock star apprentice. And of course, it's already obvious that the story is going to be, if not half, at the least, it's going to be half about her, but it's mostly going to be about her. And it's already clear. And I told him this. I said that it's already obvious to me that Darth Maul is going to have to share this entire series with her. And it's all going to be framed through her perspective and her moral struggle. And I'm just sick of it, because this pattern is repeated so many times. I can see it coming 1,000 miles away. And it's like, why can't we just have a show about Maul being a badass? Why can't we just have a show about him chopping up other bad guys and just enjoy it. We can't have that, can we? No. So I lament the fact that that's the situation we're in, but it doesn't change the fact for me that if you have something that's about a female character and it's good, I'm going to enjoy it. What I don't enjoy is this because to me it would just be, Eckhart Tolle has a phrase, when you react strongly to something that is in another, it is now in you. And so if my response is, well, because they have made it their purpose to create this asymmetric imbalance against men in storytelling, if they have taken it upon them, the intelligentsia in charge of our entertainment culture, if they have taken it upon themselves to asymmetrically force women into everything, if my response is to demand the asymmetric existence of men in everything, I would simply be becoming them. And I just don't want to be. And I'm not. So Fu Man Blue's on one. I've triggered Fu Man Blue. He's on one now. Redoubt Productions says, I was going to keep going on my diatribe, but then I realized I'm screaming into the void toward people who cannot be reasoned with. Shills are, at the end of the day, unreasonable people. They're irrelevant. They're fun to make. They're fun as entertainment. That's the only reason we play the shills, because they're funny. That's it. But they're irrelevant. Let me tell you what the shills are, Redoubt. The shills are they are the final death throes of a moribund artistic culture. An artistic culture which is in a state of decay. It's in its final stages of dying out and becoming totally irrelevant. Like think of it. The entire framework of the girl boss 10 years ago was vibrant and thriving. Fake as it was vibrant and thriving. It was the hottest thing in marketing and entertainment. It's now kind of just sad. It's kind of sad. Like it's not even like anger that Millie Alcock is provoking. When Brie Larson was saying things like, I don't care what a middle-aged white man thinks about my movies, that enraged a lot of people. Now you have Millie Alcock essentially saying similar things, and it's more like an eye roll. It's more like, oh, geez, really? Are we doing this again? So my point is that the shills are the representatives of a culture that is dying. And it's sort of pathetic, but it's also irrelevant because they can lie and they can shill. There's nothing they can do to keep it alive. Did I lose the stream? Let me make sure. My chat just crashed on me. Hang on. Hopefully my stream didn't go down. Let me know in the Discord if my stream is still live, because I'm reloading it now to see. I can't get the tab to load. Let me toss this one. Get rid of that one. Come on now. Try this a different way here. It's up. Okay, thanks, Fu Man. I appreciate that. Good looking out, Master at Arms. Okay, cool. Thanks, Redoubt. I see it. Yeah, it was the tab crashed in my browser, and I wasn't sure if I got the copyright or something going on. But I did lose the chat, so I'm trying to get it back. Hang on. Okay, roll tape while I'm working on that.
This dog is her world.
I gotta be honest here, you guys. I just do not care. Crypto isn't even a character. He's a MacGuffin meant to elicit a cheap emotional reaction from the audience.
Like, I felt that connection that out of her whole world's gone. She lost everything, but the one constant in her life has been this dog.
Jeez. Oh,
I can't think of a more touching motivation than...
Shut the fuck up, Shill. Just shut the fuck up. Stupid. How about this, Shill? She gets word that one of her family members from Krypton survived the blast and is being held hostage by some kind of evil faction. And they are extremely powerful. Maybe they even want something from her, a technology she has, and they demand it. And she goes on a quest to save her family member. It's really not that hard. It's not that hard to identify something a little more compelling as a prize, as a primal prize than the dog. That is possible. It can be done. It can be done. Okay, where was my chat? I think I got it back. Okay, roll tape.
Fighting to save your best friend. Fighting to save your freaking dog, bro.
I think I'm very happy that they showed Crypto being hurt in this.
God, have you noticed lately that people have become? I'm almost turning a little Matt Walsh on this subject because don't get me wrong, I love dogs and kitty cats. I love pets and I love animals, but even I am forced to acknowledge that we might be becoming a little too pet obsessed. I'm really tired of hearing the phrase fur babies. I'm really tired of hearing the phrase dog mom. It's starting to really bug me. And it's like, is our culture in a state of like desolation to where the only things we can find to give us meaning are now our pets? We're like the ancient pharaohs of Egypt. We're going to be buried with our cats. I really hope that's not where we're going here. But in any case, roll tape.
Because if that doesn't put butts in seats, if that doesn't make people go...
Yes, I'm sure parents especially will want to take their kids to go and see that.
And then Crypto is dying. And I'm like, she's about to go John Wick on this universe.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, and meanwhile getting drunk and partying in the meantime. Yeah, this movie's gonna be all over the place. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. Make sure to go back and check out that other video. If you missed it, please hit the like.
Nice hat tip, Mr. Grizzy. Just a gentleman, a scholar, a servant of humanity. All right, we need one to wrap it up, folks. We need one to wrap it up. So we're going to finish with Paul Chatto. How did Hollywood get so stupid? How did it happen? Share screen, Mr. Producer. I'm looking unusually pale today, Mr. Producer. Is it just me? I feel more pale than usual. Here we go. Back to the browser. Okay, here we go. How everything got fucked over everywhere all at once. Paul Chatto. Let's see what he's got to say on this subject.
Hello, denizens. The destruction prized pop culture franchises has been covered by me and by literally hundreds of others here on YouTube and other social media platforms. But the question that has been nagging me for a long time is, how did this all happen seemingly all at once? It seems insane that a legion of incompetent idiots would all be hired at the very same time. How on earth could there not have been one bright light, one pirate who gave...
You know what is... He is exactly right about this, because I remember how I always said that the penny dropped for me with the Marvels. Remember, that was when I coined my now famous and delightful jape that these are stupid people that write this shit, right? Stupid people who eat glue. And it was after Mandalorian season 3, Secret Invasion, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and just multiple other catastrophes that whole year. And I remember thinking, like, how can so many of these be like this? And that was kind of where that was coming from. So it's like he's right. It's the fact that it was so many. And as I said, like, we're not just talking like mediocre. Like Fallout's a good example of one of them that's like, it's a bad show, but it's like bad in the old way, where it was like it's got some good elements to it, but it really drops the ball in a lot of these areas. And it's like a 5, maybe a 4 out of 10 if I'm being a little bit less generous. But most of these things, like Echo, for example, or Ironheart, they're not just, or the Acolyte's a great example. They're not just bad. They're not just clunky. They're not just mediocre. I mean, we're talking, this is embarrassing. Like this is dialogue that would make someone in a creative writing community college class ashamed of themselves. Now, how is that possible? These people are being paid multi-millions of dollars. So he's really onto something with this.
Gave their woke masters the finger and made something truly wonderful. And I'm not referring to those flickers of hope like Jon Favreau's season 1 of The Mandalorian, or the overhyped, tedious Andor, or Terry Matalas's season 3 of Picard that took
overhyped, tedious Andor. That it is a bit tedious. I won't deny that.
That he took over as the sole showrunner and executive producer and made the final season reasonably fun and hopeful right under Alex Kurtzman's nose. As delicious as all that was, we all knew nothing more was going to come of that. I mean, it's just insane to think of all that money across multiple studios. Ooh.
Oh man, Fu Man Blue, you and Redoubt are onto something. You were just talking about Redoubt saying, "I still enjoy Fury Road." I love Fury Road. I really love Furiosa. Furiosa is a great film too. But so many similar projects have come out since then. I've learned the wrong lessons from that movie. I don't think it would be. I would be open to such a project nowadays. Yeah, big agree. Fu Man Blue saying, I found things in rewatches of old things that lands differently now than it did originally. I was kind of thinking you were talking about positive things. Now I realize you're talking about negative things. But I will say, I've been finding a lot more positive things than I even remember rewatching old things. And I watched this episode of Deep Space Nine called It's Only a Paper Moon. It's in season 7, and it's about Nog after he's wounded in battle with the Jem'Hadar. He's sort of traumatized. He's got PTSD. He's withdrawing from his life, and they're trying to figure out like how to get him out of it. And he winds up living in the holodeck with the character Vic Fontaine, and like helping him like balance his books and all this stuff. And it's always been one of my favorite episodes, but it's one of those episodes I kind of rolled my eyes at when it starts, but by the end of it, I'm like, that's such a good episode. You know, I'm just like, that's such a good episode. But I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, it still hits even harder than the last time I watched it. It's such a brilliant episode of the show. It's Only a Paper Moon, and it's just, yeah, it hits differently.
Should have known better that resulted in the same wretched, inconceivable trash. How did all these centers of capitalism abandon their fiduciary responsibilities and lose their minds all at once? I would ask the Justice Department to open a collusion investigation for stupid, if I didn't know better. But there must have been a common thread. These franchises, Star Wars post-2015 Disney era, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, Star Trek Discovery Onward, Doctor Who,
STD.
Recent seasons, Marvel, post-Endgame, phases 4 through 5+, Disney, Pixar animation, example, Lightyear, Strange New Worlds, wish, Amazon's Rings of Power and Wheel of Time, and Netflix's The Witcher have all faced sharp audience backlash, declining ratings, viewership,
season 5,
box office streaming underperformance, and fan abandonment in roughly the same window, accelerating from around 2015 to 2016, peaking around 2019 to 2025, the root cause isn't coincidence, franchise fatigue, COVID, or toxic fans. It's a shared shift in creative priorities driven by corporate adoption of progressive ideology that prioritizes messaging, identity politics, and representation over coherent storytelling, canon fidelity, character arcs, and broad audience appeal. This, again, we have...
You know, I don't think I've ever thought of it quite this way, because we do think of the activism and the wokeness, but I don't think I ever thought of it in exactly that fashion. Essentially, what he's suggesting here is that somewhere around 2016 to 2020, all entertainment became consolidated into a new form, which is basically that of a corporate propaganda ad. Essentially, all of our franchises, Star Wars, Star Trek, Rings of Power, Doctor Who, I mean to say Lord of the Rings, etc., all of it. And they're coming for more. They're coming for Warhammer. They're coming for Dungeons and Dragons. You name it. All of it has essentially been converted into corporate propaganda to push what these corporations want pushed on us. That's basically what it is. I hadn't quite thought of it that way. It's a very Orwellian thought, that essentially all these companies have an agenda for society. They want, and I'm not even saying in like the conspiracy smoke-filled room kind of way. I just mean generally they all have a bottom line and they all have a goal, and they have essentially decided that entertainment is just another arm of their marketing division. And that includes Marvel, that includes DC, that includes all of it. It's a marketing arm of a larger industry or enterprise. I had never thought it, which explains the dystopian nature of it, doesn't it? Because don't you get the feeling watching all of it's all the same, it's all slop, it's all slop. It's all the fucking same. And there's something nightmarishly Orwellian about that you can't quite put your finger on until you realize that's exactly what it is. It's all part of the same commercial that they are smuggling through the entertainment. I never quite thought of it that way. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what it is. It does feel that way. I'm not saying that's exactly what it is, but it is a fascinating explanation, don't you think?
All documented, I won't belabor as much as I'd like to. It's the pattern across franchises that was plain incomprehensible, but no one can argue how the timeline lines up. Pre-2025, successes relied on universal myths, heroism, adventure, escapism, source material respect, Star Wars originals, Marvel's early MCU build-up, classic Trek, Who, Tolkien adaptations, Sapkowski's Witcher books, Jordan's Wheel of Time, post-2025 pivot, legacy heroes deconstructed or sidelined. Luke Skywalker is a bitter failure in The Last Jedi. Aging Indiana Jones undermined. Witcher, Geralt's arc altered as Cavill himself protested. Strong protagonists, often female or minority-coded, defined by lectures, competence without growth, or resentment towards the old guard. Forced diversity in casting that contradicts lore. Themes shifted towards contemporary identity politics, gender, race, toxic masculinity over plot, logic, or wonder. Streaming exacerbated it. Platforms demanded endless content, leading to rushed scripts from the same narrow pool of writers steeped in the new ideology. Why this happened simultaneously? Ideological monoculture in Hollywood driven by big tech. Not enough is being made about how Silicon Valley affected Hollywood. Sure, Hollywood has always been this bastion of progressivism, but it was mostly a self-aggrandizing ego.
Yeah, I agree. I think he means 2015. I don't think he means 2025 because, yes, this is definitely going on longer than before 2025. I think he meant 2015.
Egoism, more like drug-fueled hippies on a bender with no real intellect, going all the way back to Vanessa Redgrave's histrionics, who Patty Chayefsky famously assailed during the 1978 Oscars, much like Ricky Gervais did at the Golden Globes, which most still have not heeded. You won't find anyone in Hollywood pushing back on that moron Javier Bardem, because I don't know if there's anyone left as smart as Chayefsky to do so. Besides, everyone is afraid to transgress the unwritten law. My point is that the progressives in Hollywood are mostly brainless dilettantes and capable of managing their own money. And here's the thing no one else has talked about. It's the much more intellectually astute Silicon Valley billionaires who can manage trillions, who bought into the DEI nonsense first and encoded it into their businesses. But unlike Hollywood, which turned woke into a lingua franca, gulping it down like Jonestown Kool-Aid, Silicon Valley selectively applied DEI to non-vital aspects of their business and separated it from their major league talent, which had no time for this bullshit. The people creating the next iPhone or AI are not DEI hires, yet
That is a fascinating point that he's made. So he's suggesting that all of the intelligentsia in Silicon Valley knew that they had to embrace DEI. They knew they had to embrace the activism and the wokeness, but they still needed to make actual money. They still had to have a business that was functional. So they knew damn well that we're not going to put these wackos in charge of anything that actually matters, such as developing our computer chips or developing our AI large language models. No. That obviously only competent people can work on that stuff. But we got to put them somewhere. So we'll stick them on the things that don't matter. AAA video games, movies, TV shows, sports, tabletop games that they've acquired, just all this crap. In other words, virtue signal and virtue signal and virtue signal, so long as wherever it's happening and whatever it's about has nothing to do with what we actually care about. So in a way, entertainment became the dumping ground for the shit that the tech titans needed. They needed somewhere to put their garbage. They were stuck with the garbage either way. They had this garbage, this NIMBA, not in my backyard garbage they had to deal with. And that they may have admittedly had an affinity for, but they still had to stick it somewhere. So they found a landfill that would keep it isolated from the important projects that actually required talented, competent people that do not eat glue. And the answer was entertainment. Wow. Fascinating.
Hollywood hands billion-dollar franchises over to numbskulls like Rings of Power's J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, or in the case of...
If he's right about this, it would also explain how they don't ever seem affected by the massive pallets of cash that they are lighting on fire. The flop after flop after flop, comic book brands going out of business, entire merchandising lines wasting away in clearance racks, the enormous sums of money that they have lost at box offices and video game sales and streaming services. Why don't they care about it? Why doesn't it ever change their approach? Because it's their dump. It's the dump. They don't care about any of that to begin with. It's a loss leader. It's just a branch of their labyrinthine business that doesn't matter. Fascinating.
Experienced people like Rafe Judkins of Wheel of Time and Lauren Hissrich from The Witcher, who somehow turned into complete numbskulls. I mean, that's a complete mystery to me. If only there was a common thread between the showrunners of the failed Doctor Who, Acolyte, Wheel of Time, Witcher, She-Hulk versus the success of Season 1 of Mandalorian, Season 3 of Picard.
Straight white males.
Sorry, allergies. The problem stems from key players in Hollywood being overwhelmed by the digital progressives that came over, employed by the streaming companies. And that's the secret. The streaming side of the tech companies was the dumping ground for their DEI hires. Couple that.
Holy shit. Wow. This could be, how many times have we convened here, you and I, my dear sailors and starnuts, on the Captain's Cast, and you have watched me try and wrap my head around it. I've asked this question, sometimes jokingly, sometimes quite seriously. Why don't they care? How can they just set cash on fire like this? How can they do this? How can they have flop after flop after flop? And it's, we are seeing signs of course corrections, but how can they sustain so much failure and not seem to care? And we've floated every explanation you can think of, and there was elements of truth to all of them: activism, corporatism, general cultural rot, nihilism, you name it. But never have I heard a singular explanation that seems to fit all of the facts. This explanation explains every pillar of the problem: how the wackos got in the door, why they're never held accountable, why the loss of profit and income never seems to affect the system. It explains all of it. These tech companies deliberately and knowingly hired a bunch of DEI wackos because nominally, if they don't truly care, they at least want a virtue signal about it, pay it lip service, but they're not dumb enough to actually put them in charge of anything that matters. They needed a dumping ground for the DEI hires, which explains how talented people found themselves working for HR Karen morons like Leslie Headland and Lauren Hissrich and Kathleen Kennedy. Fascinating. Fascinating.
With the studios being on far shakier financial footing than Google, Amazon, Apple, and Netflix, and you can see why the influence of ESG was far greater on the studios and infected it top to bottom, which brings me to the next item: corporate incentives over profit. ESG investing through BlackRock, Vanguard rewarded social scores. Virtue signaling scored points with elites, media, even if it alienated paying customers. Creative bankruptcy, audience capture, milking IPs via streaming killed scarcity and quality. No new ideas, just remixed legacy with a side of politics. Core male-skewing older fans felt targeted and left. The hoped-for new audience, the broader diverse demographics, never materialized at scale. The holy grail of the modern audience. No counterbalance. Unlike the 70s to the 2000s, there's little ideological diversity in creative leadership. Dissent gets labeled bigotry. Ironically, the push for diversity narrowed the creative landscape and made things boring and same, not expansive and new. Who could have guessed that? Not just bad writing or fatigue. Popular properties weren't destroyed by fans or markets. They were steered into decline by decision makers who treated beloved IPs as propaganda tools rather than entertainment. Audiences voted with their wallets and remotes. Recovery would require ditching the ideology-first approach and returning to story-first, merit-based creative decisions. Project Hail Mary is a huge hit. I hope it represents a trend and not just a one and done, which Top Gun Maverick kind of was. But movies have a long gestation period. What woke sewage still needs to be flushed from the creative pipeline? I don't know. And speaking of Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who Lucasfilm fired, I meant parted ways over creative differences, over the Solo movie.
I forgot that Phil Lord, one of the directors of Project Hail Mary, was originally part of the Solo movie. And they got fired, but Kathleen Kennedy had creative differences with them, if I recall correctly.
Movie and replaced with Ron Howard. It made me think, now that I've seen PHM, that perhaps they were dismissed not because of incompetence, but precisely because they refused to turn Solo into the woke slop Kathleen Kennedy demanded. Did we really need Lando flirting with Han or fucking droid L337? This is just my speculation, not rumor, though I'm happy to start it. So, there you go. That's my theory.
That is a really fascinating analysis, and hat tip Paul Chatto. I can't help but think. You know, we critics on YouTube with a camera and a microphone in our mother's basements, we have directed an awful lot of heat at the creatives behind these projects, and much of it, all of it, most of it, deservedly so. Certainly Leslie Headland deserves it. A lot of Dave Filoni deserves it. A lot of these dumb creatives deserve it. But we've sort of been directing all of this at them as if to suggest that they are the true, you know, we naturally look at a creative work, an artistic work, and we take it at face value, don't we? It's our instinct. We think you're the director, you're the producer, you're the actors, you made this. This must be what you wanted. And it's crap. It's crap, and you should know that. But is it possible that the true villains of the story simply outrank them, regardless of their general incompetence or combative attitude towards the fans? The true enemy here is a system that is designed and that they are simply cogs in its machine. And that is a fascinating thought indeed. So, but that being said, it may not exactly be related, but it was something that came across the captain's desk, and I wanted to share this with you. I think we'll leave this as a final thought. I am a huge fan of the BioShock video game. I regard it as one of the greatest video games ever made, and BioShock 2 as well. And I absolutely, part of the reason for that, not just the gameplay and just how creative the environments were. I mean, they truly are marvelous, BioShock 1 and 2. But the story, the philosophy underpinning it all, it's truly, just from a pure storytelling way, I think it might be one, it's in the top. I think it might be Mass Effect trilogy, BioShock. I think that's probably where it has to go in terms of best storytelling ever told in a video game. Mass Effect, BioShock. BioShock 2, in particular, is an underrated masterpiece. I'm telling you, it's the perfect sequel to the first game. It's brilliant. Truly, I think I even like it more than the first game. In terms of the emotional journey of you as the character playing as the Big Daddy, frankly, it was more fun playing as the Big Daddy, but the actual story element that you're trying to rescue the little sister that you were separated from. So it actually is like a father-daughter story. It's genius, and truly moving, a truly moving story. Well, I came across on the subject of Hail Mary and its sort of resurgence of beauty and art, and then also the question about how did Hollywood get to be so dreck, and I came across this post. Oops, let me put it right here. There we go. So I don't even know if I follow this account or not. Daka, I'm not sure what the account is, but anyway, this quote from the guy is really interesting. He says, BioShock 2 is the best in the series, and it's not even a competition. And I'm inclined to agree. And this post is just so good. Let me see if I can, Mr. Producer, just like when I was designing my character in Cyberpunk, enlarge, please. Okay, there we go. Quote, the main character is a big daddy who fights through hell to rescue his assigned daughter, Eleanor. Game expresses the importance of a father figure for Eleanor as her actions are reflected on the behavior and actions of the big daddy. For example, the entire ending is based on what a girl has learned from her father. Example, if a father is evil, Eleanor becomes evil. If father is good, Eleanor becomes good. If father made mixed, nonsensical choices, Eleanor becomes broken and confused. Close quote for a second. This is identifying one of the most surprising and magnificent elements of the game, because you play through the whole game and you're given this moral choice of, do you harvest the little sisters? Do you save them? You know, and there's several other key moments in the game where you have a character at your mercy and you have a choice of whether to execute them or let them go, show them mercy, whatever. And there's like 3 of these events. And the beautiful thing too is it's not correct answer is always mercy, correct answer is always execute. It's a mixture. It's kind of a mixture, and you kind of have to go with your gut and decide, like, does this one deserve mercy or not? Anyway, you go through the whole game and you make these choices. And then at the end, quite surprisingly, Eleanor has learned from watching you do this throughout the game. And the choices she makes at the ending are dictated by what she saw you do through your example. It's brilliant. Open quote. The main villain, Sophia Lamb, uses the concepts of victimhood, unity, and equality to set up the family, that's her henchman basically, as nothing more as a way of subverting Rapture to control using this manipulation tactic since the moment she arrived at Rapture. Rapture is the underwater city that's the setting of the game. Close quote for a second. By the way, so the first game is about a radical Ayn Randian capitalist who dreams of a capitalist libertarian utopia where there's no laws, there's no need for laws, because individuals are simply free to prosper and business is king. And it sort of winds up a disaster. Unlike Fallout, however, it's actually a very nuanced, complex, and I think reasonable critique of capitalism run amok. But the second game explores the exact opposite, which is Sophia Lamb, who is a doctrinaire communist. And she cloaks herself in all the most optimistic, all the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-righteous communist propaganda. Like, so as Andrew Ryan is to capitalism, Sophia Lamb is to communism. And just like Andrew Ryan, the game allows her to have some sympathetic arguments. The game allows her to sometimes be persuasive, right? In her arguments about the failure of rapture and capitalism and why her way is the best way and how the world is this cesspool. And if we don't figure out a way to get people to work together, and then of course you find out what her evil plan is, and it's freaking diabolical. It's fantastic. So the first one's sort of an indictment of capitalism. The second game is a full-throated indictment of communism. Okay? So open quote. Sinclair, who is introduced as a one-note comedic profit capitalist, turns out to be a good-hearted guy who actually cared for Eleanor and her father. His last words after his Big Daddy conversion, so she forces him to become a Big Daddy, and it's very sad and traumatic. Anyway, turns out his last words after his Big Daddy conversion are, "Kill me so that I don't hurt Eleanor." The Mark Meltzer subplot of a man who goes to the ends of the earth to find his daughter Cindy, then agrees to become a Rumbler Big Daddy just so he can be with his daughter again. So yeah, there's a subplot in the story. It's mostly explored in like diaries and journals that you find, that there was a everyday man who found his way to Rapture. He's trying to save his abducted daughter, but he failed. It's kind of a tragedy that's embedded in the backstory. Quote, "It's no surprise that the Jewish creator of BioShock, Ken Levine," I don't agree with this part, but whatever. "It's no shock that the creator of BioShock, Ken Levine, claims this game isn't canon." I did not realize that this account has like Jew and I suppose Israel derangement syndrome, whatever. But that last line, I think, is pretty fucking stupid, if I'm being honest. I think that's a pretty fucking stupid final line. I don't think it has anything to do with it, but whatever. Let's leave that aside for a second. For whatever reason that Ken Levine claims it isn't canon, I don't really care. That analysis is so brilliant. Like that, he identifies correctly all of the truly remarkable things about BioShock. And then Tim Pool with a great comment. "BioShock should be mandatory video gaming for all high school freshmen in the U.S." No lie. I think that the BioShock games, not Infinite. Infinite is trash. But the first two, BioShock 1 and 2, as video games, they are on the level of like Animal Farm or 1984. They are literary masterworks. Full stop. And I just thought, I felt like celebrating that. I felt like reminiscing with that a little bit because they're just that brilliant. And Fu Man Blue is off to bed, and he picks a good time to be off to bed. Do you know why? Do you know why he picked a good time to head off to bed? Because we're doing another 5 hours. What I meant to say was, that's another Captain's Cast in the books, my dear sailors and star nuts. That's right, we've come to the end of our journey. Just a little hanging out with my favorite peeps on the internet. We'll do this again this week. We'll have another Captain's Cast. So thanks for hanging out with me, chat. Good Times, Crowbar the Skull, Fu Man Blue, Redoubt Productions, Star Fury, Michael Archangel. I suspect Skunk's Workshop might be out there lurking. It's possible. Good times were had by all. So that is our show tonight. I am your host, Captain Garrett of the Swords and Starships channel. And until next time, this is Captain Garrett saying, I will see you out there.